All right, welcome in and welcome back to Kim St. Ange. Back in the chair this morning.
I
How
was
are
confused.
You?
I'm like, what is this song?
It's the intro to Welcome Back, Kotter. Am I correct about that, Ethan? That's a 1970s sitcom that
before you were born.
I appreciate the
would
warm
not
welcome.
recognize at all.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a welcome back song that's your generation. I don't know.
I don't know what it would be.
It'd probably be dumb.
Friends
Music's
or
kind
something
of gone
like that.
downhill.
Yeah, the intro to Cheers. Everybody wants place
Where everybody knows your name.
That could be it. That might be it. How was your time off?
It was good. I mean, it was busy, but it was really good. It was just nice to be able to wake up with my kids and kind of get them going. I'm sure my husband appreciated that, but just being there with them was really nice. We got to do some fun things together.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad we certainly missed you. We certainly appreciate Dan Buck getting up early for a few days and coming in. And lo and behold, he's going to be back before the week is over. Correct? He thinks he's coming back Friday.
Oh, I don't know. I have to
think
look
so.
at I have to look.
I think it is.
Kim's like, what?
Let me check.
So I have the day off Friday. So I'm pretty sure that Dan thinks he's coming back Friday. So that would be a good thing.
Dan just shows up.
Dan may just show up Friday, whether because he and I talked about that yesterday. We'll get that figured out. But we were glad to have Dan as always. We kind of start the show on a little bit of a sad note this morning because we have to announce that my friend Steve Hawley passed away, and that's very sad for all of us involved with Guns and Hoses. Obviously, 97.1 is the official radio partner of Guns and Hoses these days, and I got to participate proudly in the event this past year with a little bit of announcing in the ring. Played a very small role. I mean, what they do down there is just incredible, and donate $1 million to Backstoppers every year. And a guy named Jerry Clinton started all this, Kim, back in the 90s. And late 80s, actually, and ran it for many years. And when Jerry passed away far too young, the organization continued and it grew each year. And one of the driving forces behind it was Steve Hawley. And he'd been the executive producer of Guns N' Hoses, and particularly the boxing match. But, you know, Guns N' Hoses has people do a lot of different fundraisers for them that eventually benefits Backstoppers. But Steve was the driving force behind this. And his health had kind of been declining the last couple of years. He'd had a few health challenges. And I had no idea. I was so shocked yesterday when I learned of his passing. The people at Guns N' Hoses put out a statement on it, obviously honoring his service over the years and all that he's meant to that organization. $1 million a year. I want people to think about that. Now, their budget is about 3 times that, but what would the organization do without that $1 million a year, that check that they present every year for $1 million? And think of, if you've ever been to Guns N' Hoses, think of the organization that goes into that production. I mean, they put on, 12 or 15 matches probably. About half of those are televised on Fox 2. The other half are matches that happen before it actually switches over to TV. They fill up the Enterprise Center down here. They sell tables on the floor. I mean, it's a massive undertaking from start to finish. Most of the people involved are volunteers, and hats off to Steve Hawley and his many years of service to Guns N' Hoses. And it's very sad for all of us that knew him. And I was really a newcomer. I mean, I knew Steve, and Steve knew me, but my whole participation in it was limited to the last year and a half. But can't say enough about what he's done over the years.
Saw some pictures of him, saw people saying really nice things about him, including, I guess he was known for having really crazy, but I mean crazy in a good way, crazy ideas about, okay, this is what we could do. That he was kind of the big idea guy who was always trying to come up with some other way to get people interested to want to help this organization.
Oh, yeah. In fact, he talked about having me rappel down a line from the ceiling. I know he was joking.
Okay, so
because
that was,
they did that
I remember
with a
you
dog.
telling me that. That was the joke that he came up with, though?
Well, I mean, he was joking, I think, when he said that. And,
probably not.
Well, I don't know, but it did. That's not what ended up happening. But you know, Steve was not I don't remember seeing him down there this year. I mean, his health has been kind of up and down for the past year and a half, and I was just so sad to hear that. But we wake up to that news this morning if you're just joining us. On the bright side, hats off to Kim St. Ange and the morning show here, because this past weekend we were recognized with first place at the Missouri Broadcasters Award. Kim, thank you for an interview you brought to the table.
Yeah, and it was really cool, too. The fact that one got first place, it was with Diane Foley, who's she founded the organization, the Foley Foundation, which is an organization that's near and dear to my parents' heart. And that right after my mom passed, we had featured that here on the station. And for our Conservatives Cares, Talk in Action now. And it was really neat to be able to win for that. Of all the interviews that we do here, it was really neat. Just special to me and special to my family.
Well, thank you for bringing that to the table, and it's always nice to be honored. I don't put too much emphasis on the MBA thing. The Missouri Broadcasters Award, we've won a few of them over the years, and it's always nice to be recognized by your colleagues. So it was sort of like the Emmy thing, Yeah. There's lots of everybody submits an entry, and
right.
It's pretty random. You never even know who's judging it.
Well, and that's just the thing. Like you said, it's so cool to be recognized. But I agree. Some of these awards in general, but we'll take it. We're honored to be recognized.
We'll take it, and hats off to Kim for bringing that one to the table for sure. We've got a great show for you today. Guess what? It never fails. So now this James Tallarico guy down in Texas is now suddenly. He's a fan of the Second Amendment. Can you imagine that? This is the guy that like Beto O'Rourke, wanted to ban guns, but he's got an important caveat to all of that. And of course, we're going to get into it today because it is 2A Tuesday. We'll get our friend Mark Walters on here, and we'll talk more about the flip flop now that this guy's got to try to compete in a statewide race in Texas, where they have to have as many guns per capita as anywhere in the country. I would have to. It's Texas, 10-gallon hats and guns and trucks, and they've got to. It's just crazy to me. This guy's even in contention for the Senate seat down there. We'll get to that for 2A Tuesday. We got Todd Piro coming up. Ryan Wiggins a little later. So we got a lot of good stuff for you. Hang out for all that. Right now, Ethan, let's get to our top stories, please.
Now, over the weekend, there were a few ballot dumps that pushed Progressive Councilwoman Nithya Raman past Spencer Pratt by about just 3,000 votes.
Something is rotten in California, but we've known that for a long time. We're going to talk more about that this morning. Was it a surprise that Mom Donnie's little sister, that's what I'm calling her, the left-wing socialist, popped into second place by winning 40% of the vote on the late ballots when she won less than 23 on the early ballots? How in the world did that happen?
You're saying it's rigged like the president?
I'm not saying it's rigged. I'm saying it stinks to high heaven, and everybody knows that. I think California is playing around with this.
But what evidence is there to prove that this is rigged?
Look, some of these efforts are so diabolical and so far upstream that it's impossible to prove. But I think everybody knows instinctively something is wrong here.
Thank you, Mike Johnson. Thank you for pointing that out. You don't always have to have all the goods to see that something isn't right. It's statistically impossible to do what this ramen woman did in the L.A. race. It's statistically impossible. It is. It would be like finding one grain of sand out of the whole world over and over and over again. She just defied logic in coming from behind to take over second place.
The membership of the organization is mostly white male, and I just don't feel comfortable being in an organization in which SIOs, which are like socialists in office, are meeting regularly with a population that is not representative of the entire district.
That's a New York Democrat, if you could make out what he was saying there. He's not comfortable with how many white men are involved in his organization, which is the Democrat Socialists of America. He's not sure white people should be involved in that. There's really nothing to see here, folks.
So as we start Pride Month today, I ask every single person, ally and LGBTQ plus alike, to stand together. Because when we do, we're protecting the rights of all LGBTQ plus Missourians. When we pick up the brick for each other, we fight for a future we all deserve.
Isn't that great? Aren't you so proud on Pride Month, Kim? In the middle of Pride Month, in the mayor's office over here, standing right next to the guy speaking, there was St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer with her tousled hair. While the libs of TikTok put that video out of this guy calling for violence in the streets in support of LGBTQ, LMNOP, QRSTUV rights, whatever the hell that is.
I'd never heard of that phrase, pick up a brick.
You know what it refers to? The 1969 riots where they were launching bricks at police officers. It's a direct call to violence by this group in the St. Louis mayor's office. This is not they can't even hide behind their cheap excuse that 8647 doesn't really mean to kill the president. That's the garbage they spew over on Donnybrook and at the Post Disgrace. Everybody knows what 8647 means, even if they want to lie about it. But they can't even lie about this one. It's a direct reference to riots that took place in San Francisco in the gay community where they were chucking bricks and projectiles at police officers.
I was trying to give the guy the benefit of the doubt, thinking maybe he means to lay the foundation, or maybe he's just that ignorant. He doesn't, because I would admit ignorance. I don't know what that means. I didn't before.
Physical bricks. Pick up the bricks. That's what he wants you to do. And throw them at people. Why else would you pick up a brick? And now, thanks to libs of TikTok, all of America gets to see St. Louis mayor standing behind him, looking just fine with it. So that's kind of where we are. Happy Pride Month, St. Louis. Aren't you so proud? All right, we'll get to a quick break here. Here's our national anthem.
Good morning to you. We look good on the roads, but there is some road work out west. For instance, on the ramp from southbound 61 to 64 and 64 approaching Lake St. Louis Boulevard in that area. A little bit of volume, slowdowns, but really not much. So for the most part, we look good, and that's from North County down into Jeffco. Quiet on the Illinois side and on the bridges if you're taking those in this morning. So far, so good. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
All right, I told you the other day when I got my landscaping done by lawn enforcement, what did they bring over to fill out the landscaping? They brought over mulch from where else? Hanson's Tree Service. I told you my friend Chad Hansen, they're the original, the OG environmentalists, right? Of course, they've been taking down trees in the greater St. Louis area for many, many years. And one thing they do is they take those back, they grind them up, they process them into mulch. You pick the color, you pick the texture that you want, and in most cases, they can deliver it right to your house. You can do all of this online. Go to hansonstree.com, pick out your mulch. They'll deliver it right to your driveway, and then you can apply it yourself. Right? I think it's great. And it's just one of the many things Hanson's does for you. Their certified arborists can come out and deal with diseased trees. They're seeing big problems with evergreens right now. And the only way to know is to have one of their experts eyeball it. I'm just telling you, they're great at that. They've forgotten more about trees than most of us will ever know. So if you're in the Lake of the Ozarks, you're in Branson, you own a house in Branson or the Lake of the Ozarks, they also provide their great tree service there as well, getting rid of dead trees and limbs and entire trees if you need to. Call them at 636-379-1830. Tell them Marc Cox referred you. It is hansonstree.com.
Check out thegelmanteam.com today. That's thegelmanteam.com.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Norm Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
The time is now 5:23, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Coming up 5:35, we'll check out what's going on in Kim's head and Kim on a whim.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Well, I got to give a shout out, Kim. I got to spend a little bit of time over in the Villa Hills Fire Department yesterday when we went over with Grill Master Tony to feed them for our Feed Our First Responders. Because they had nominated one of their lieutenants, Jacob Stell, who'd been with them for 11 years. Now, bear in mind, this is a volunteer fire department that serves Villa Hills. They've been around for years. Their chief over there, Steve Allen, his own father was a longtime member and volunteer on that department. Now his son, his grandson. I mean, it's really a family of families, I should say, plural, that have come together to support that community over there. And they have a lot of pride in what they do. They serve their community. They've got a couple of pretty brand new fire trucks. We got pictures with them last night that we'll be posting up to the website today. But Lieutenant Stell just got promoted last year, and they wanted to honor him for taking on new responsibilities and giving his all to the department. And he got the Chiefs Award in 2025. So congratulations to all of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
For work well done and for serving their community. And I know the chief tells me he's up on his way to work at 4:45 every morning and listens to the show. So.
That early, huh?
I know.
At least now, I was just looking out the window here in our studio downtown, and it makes me so excited that it's 5:25 and the sun's already coming. It's already light out.
A little light outside right
you
now.
feel a little bit more normal when you get up and if you're going to work right now and you see the sun's coming up, you just feel like you're normal, I guess, is the only way I can describe it.
That's one thing you can make observations about. Michelle and I are watching Dutton Ranch. Mm-hmm. We're watching the follow-up to Yellowstone the other night, and Rip has taken on a new job as foreman of a local ranch, and he told the lady he would be there at 4:30 the next morning. Well, the scene sets. He gets out of bed. He goes out and he loads his horse up in his truck, and he gets in his truck, and there's daylight behind him. And I'm like, there's never daylight out when I leave for work at 4 in the morning. I leave for work at 4 o'clock every morning. It's always dark. So that was just a little Hollywood application there that made it seem like if he was going to be somewhere at 4:30, I don't care where you are in the country.
Well,
I don't know, maybe Alaska.
It's
not daylight in Texas.
Not in Texas, but
No.
I remember we went on a family vacation to New Hampshire last year, and our room didn't really have any good curtains. And it had a huge window right behind the bed. And oh my gosh, it was about 4:30. It was completely light out. I'm telling you. I mean, that light would come beaming in, and I would look at my clock thinking it was 6 a.m. Nope, it was still in the 4 o'clock hour.
Well, I don't know.
That's about it. Not in Texas.
Just a little observation by Mark there. Overall, I've enjoyed this new series more than this Marshall's. And did you watch Yellowstone at all?
Yeah. A little bit of it.
So
yeah.
I was really looking forward to whatever was going to come next with Beth and Rip, and it took them forever to finally get the series out. And lo and behold, they've left my beloved Montana and moved to Texas. And I don't mind Texas, but it's the vibe is a little different than it was on the original show. They're still involved in ranching, and there's still plenty of drama. But I tried to get involved with that Marshall show because the other son became a U.S. Marshal and still lives in Montana. And to me, it was too NCIS kind of stuff, like just a little too programmed each month. Well, it just doesn't feel real. Like there's no way they go through that much drama for every call.
Yeah.
I don't believe. I just can't. I couldn't buy the storyline with U.S. Marshals or whatever. We quit watching that one, but we kind of we've enjoyed Dutton Ranch so far. So far, so good. All right, coming up, we will get to Kim on a whim. She's back, baby. We'll be back in just a minute.
License number GL250000615.
You're cooking dinner. The lights go out. You flip the breaker and forget about it.
But what if it keeps tripping?
Trips once, your breaker's doing its job. Keeps tripping? That's a warning. Bad wiring or something worse.
Do people just keep flipping it?
Most do, until they can't anymore.
Call Grasser. We'll stop the trip.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Bringing a data center online takes more than equipment. It takes precision. Graybar helps customers predict, stage, schedule, deliver, and verify every step of the build with critical products that are available now. From networking and wireless to critical power and testing tools, our teams help you reduce downtime risk and keep projects on track. Speed, scale, ready now. Yep, Graybar does that.
Already planning our next outing in our RV. I know Ethan just got back from a weekend of camping, and he's about to take off again here before too awful long. We love it, and if you're a camper, you know it, and if you're thinking about camping, I want you to consider going up to Apache Village when you're looking for your next RV, whatever size that happens to be. One of those little teardrop campers all the way up to one of those Class A's. Now, Apache Village is still in its original location up in Hazelwood there at Lindbergh and 270, but they've opened a brand new location. It's in O'Fallon, Missouri, just south of Highway 70 there near K and 70 on the outer road. It's AV RV, and it's designed for RV, the lot, the building, all of it. It's beautiful. There are 300 units on the property. There's nothing you can't imagine. You can go up and walk through it and take your time. You're going to love working with these folks. They have taken actually service to a new level. Check them out. It's avrv.com.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
We'll find out today how many homes were sold in May. The National Association of Realtors reports its figures on existing home sales. Also, Wall Street will be reacting to earnings news from Academy Sports and Outdoors, Casey's General Stores, and J.M. Smucker, among others. Technology stocks rebounded on Monday after Friday's brutal artificial intelligence sell-off. Fewer people are planning for a winter getaway this year. Vail Resort says it is not selling as many ski passes. It owns numerous mountain resorts around the world, and it owns Epic Pass that costs more than $1,100 for adults. Perrigo, the over-the-counter medications company, says its CEO Patrick Lockwood Taylor has resigned after the board found his conduct violated company code. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
You're probably listening to this in your car, so let me ask you, would you drive without insurance? Of course not. So why is your retirement portfolio unprotected? Gold is portfolio insurance. It helps de-risk your savings when markets get unpredictable. Noble Gold Investments has helped thousands of Americans do exactly that, with no high-pressure sales and thousands of 5-star reviews. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals involves risk. Consult with your tax or financial professional before making any investment.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, good morning. Really, the only delay at this hour is eastbound 64, and it's out by Prospect. They've been doing the overnight road work with the right lane down, and that has caused a bit of a delay. Well, I should say there's two. Southbound 61 was also a slow go, headed for 64 at this hour. Those are the only two issues, at least as far as the interstates go. And other than that, we're quiet. Even on 55 down in the Festus area, we're fine there. Quiet on the Illinois side and the Missouri side. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
The new Haverty's Furniture Showroom is now open in Gravois Bluffs. Come visit us now. Ready to refresh your space with furniture that's built to last? The new Haverty's Furniture Showroom is now open in Fenton and Gravois Bluffs. Experience Haverty's regret-free guarantee for yourself and shop the latest in living rooms, bedrooms, and more. Visit Haverty's now in Gravois Bluffs.
Hey, what are you doing with your wet basement, by the way, now that we have another threat of severe weather today? It looks like we could get more rain in the area. It's already hot. If you like spending time in your basement where it's nice and cool all the time, but you don't like the water stains you get down there every time we get a little bit of rain, call Home Shield Foundation Repairs. Matt's got you covered. He'll get over there and get it taken care of. It doesn't matter what it is. It may be very minor, could be a little more involved. But the point is, you need somebody whose opinion you can trust. I'm telling you, that's Matt Hayes. I know him personally. I know he's going to be honest with you about what needs to happen. He's not trying to sell you a waterproofing package for your house. He's trying to fix the crack in your wall. 314-271-9900. That gets you over there, and you just tell him I told you to call. Now, when he's done with whatever it is, he's going to give you a lifetime warranty. That way you can enjoy your basement. You can stay nice and cool down there at 55 degrees or whatever it is in your basement, and you don't have to worry about all the heat and the humidity. Check him out online anytime at HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health From Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill, or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Annie Fry here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They are the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
From O'Fallon, Missouri to O'Fallon, Illinois. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. Kim on a Whim.
All right, just face it, weddings are just downright expensive. I'm one of 3 girls. I remember my dad joking about that. For all the girl dads out there, I'm sure you're a little nervous if your kids haven't gotten married yet and you're thinking, how much is this going to cost me? And I know some dads, in fact, my dad at one point had even talked about, would you want to do, a destination wedding, something where maybe we could instead give you money to put a down payment on a home?
I feel his pain.
Well, you've had one daughter who's gotten married. You have one more to go.
Yep.
And
Any luck?
I would think that it's still kind of set up where the parents of the bride pay for the majority of the wedding, and then the groom's parents pay for, what is it, the rehearsal dinner usually?
Well, hey, if that's going to change, it needs to change quickly here. I'm thinking.
Before your daughter gets married?
Next 5 or 6 years. Why don't we go ahead and switch that tradition and let the guy's parents pick up more of that.
It says the average cost of a U.S. wedding in 2026 ranges between $34,000 and $40,000. Of course, that depends on your guest count and location. Here in the Midwest, specifically in the St. Louis metro area, they're saying that it typically falls between $25,000 and $30,000. It's just expensive. And you go to some of these venues and they quote you a per guest amount, and you just want to keel over because you're so dumbfounded. Well, someone's trying to capitalize on that because if you've been married, you're likely going to have somebody, probably multiple people, who no-show your wedding or who cancel the day before. Some people for very legitimate reasons, other people, whatever.
That's irritating.
But it's irritating. It is, because you paid, for the people who no-show, because I had people who did that to me, where I'm thinking, you didn't even have the courtesy to tell me.
Thank you.
After the fact.
You're paying, what, $40 a plate?
No, more than that.
Is
I'd say,
more?
I'd say most are 60 to 90, 60 to 100, 150 a person. Yeah. So anyway, there is this new website called Not a Wedding Crasher, and a girl who took part in this and went to this website, she posted a video on Instagram explaining how this works.
I crashed a random couple's wedding, and I'm going to tell you how I got away with it. There's a website where couples can sell extra seats at their wedding to complete strangers, and the second I found out that existed, I knew I had to try it. There was a wedding near San Antonio with tickets available, so I bought one. And no, I did not know the bride, I did not know the groom, I did not know a single person there, and it was a remarkable experience. They even had my name printed on the seating chart, so I felt like a real invited guest. They served tacos, so I had mine loaded up with al pastor. And by the way, a wedding is the perfect place to not know anybody because nobody questions it and every guest just assumes you're meant to be there. And oh yeah, did I mention they had an open bar? Absolutely incredible.
Now, this girl did say that her husband sat in the car for the entire 4 hours she was inside this wedding because he was too embarrassed to go in. But she said, this is the perfect date night. You're sick of just doing the same
but
old,
her
same
husband
old
sat
thing.
in the car.
Well, I don't know if she went in by herself or maybe she had a friend who went with her instead.
That's
but
weird.
Point being, if you go to this website, Not a Wedding Crasher, I'm looking right now, and they're saying this is going to be across the country. I don't see any specifically in St. Louis, but I'm assuming that's because no couple in St. Louis has said, hey, we want to essentially sell tickets. I don't know if you call it tickets. You're selling seats to your wedding. So, for example,
to make back some
of the money for the people who cancel last minute. Or there are some venues where you have to have a certain number of people, and if you don't hit that limit, you can't even book there. So let's say you're right below it. You really want that venue, but you don't know who else to invite. You can eventually have people pay to attend your wedding. For example, it says C&M's Happily Ever After in Montgomery, Texas, July 17th of this year. They have 6 seats available at $25 per seat. So they're basically saying this is one of the cheapest date nights you're going to have, where you're going to get, a great meal and you're going to have open bar and dancing and all kinds of things for pretty cheap.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You think so?
I really do. I could not say it any better. I mean, all right. I'm an only child, and I can go to a restaurant, sit down by myself, order dinner, and feel completely at ease. My wife is the oldest of 3. She would be horrified to go to a restaurant and eat by herself. Like, she would be uncomfortable doing that.
I wouldn't love it.
So you would think then that I would have no problem going to something like that where I don't know a soul and I can make small talk all night long. But what's the point? Now, if you're like in the movie Wedding Crashers, you're going there to try to pick up a date. You're going there to try to, hit on the available ladies at the wedding.
Well, maybe that's what some people are doing here.
Maybe that's one thing.
And now this is just
acceptable. To get a free dinner and an open bar out of it, you don't know any of these people.
But if you have, I'm not saying I would ever do this, but let's just say that you were looking for a random night, a fun night with your spouse, and you just didn't want to do the typical, movie and dinner, whatever. You decide to do this. If you have each other, who cares? In fact, I had some creeper who showed up at my wedding, by the way, who was not invited. Don't think he ate, but my husband spotted him over by the bar, and he was actually in front of my then fiance, was asking for my phone number at a different wedding. And he somehow, I guess based on our names, here's what's creepy. You build your wedding website, and if somebody knows your name, they can search your name with the not website, and they can figure out all your wedding details. And there are ways to make that private, but most people don't, it seems at least. Anyway, I think that's how he figured out, he knew we were getting married, how he figured out we were getting married, and he showed up.
Did you have him escorted out?
Heck yeah, he got kicked out.
Good. So back to this thing. Have you ever been to a wedding where you just strike up a conversation with somebody at the bar, or you're standing there watching them cut the cake, there's somebody standing next to you, and the common question is, how are you connected? Are you connected to the bride or the groom? Mm-hmm. Somebody asks you that, you're the extra at one of these weddings because of this crazy website. What's your answer? And then aren't you going to feel judged by the person next to you when you say, well, I don't know either of them. I just paid to come to this wedding.
But you wouldn't phrase it like that. It'd be a conversation starter. You'd basically say, you won't believe it, but there's actually this website called Not a Wedding Crasher where the couple offered these seats up and said, hey, if you want a fun night out and you want to pay, we're helping you cover some of the costs. So we thought it'd be a great night. They look like a fun couple because, by the way, the couple has to approve every single guest. There's actually an application process where, for example, they're looking at social media. They have to fill this application out, as I mentioned. So it's not a simple, hey, I want to buy a ticket and boom, I'm in. There's certainly a process you have to go through, and the couple has the right to deny you if for whatever reason they feel like something's a little off.
I'm sorry. I think that's really dumb. So first of all,
see why people are doing it.
You would, first of all, you would have to have a considerable number of seats open for this to have put any significant dent in reducing your expense for that wedding.
What if you had 3 and it was $100 a person, $300? Would you take it?
No.
No?
I don't want 3 complete strangers at my daughter's wedding. I would say hell no. I'll go, I'll go sell something and make the $300 up if you want. I don't know. I couldn't imagine allowing strangers into my child's wedding. I just think that would be weird.
Me and Kim were talking about this earlier, and I was telling her at my wedding, I probably didn't know probably 25% of the people at it. They were either my mom's friends or Stacy's dad's friends, or
see, that's probably
you know what I mean.
Too.
They were just random people that I never knew.
That your parents felt, because I know what you're saying, Mark, but your parents felt obligated. We have to invite them, and if you invite this person, then we have to invite this person, and then there's 45 people at your wedding, and you have no clue, and you're going table to table, and you've never. The first time you're meeting them is at your own wedding.
All right. Well, Mark is a big fat no on that idea.
Think about
I don't
the role
know.
you
I
could
think
play.
that's weird.
You could be a brain surgeon. No one knows. You just make up it. If we were talking, you're like, what do you do? I'm a brain surgeon.
Wasn't that what they did in Wedding Crashers, where they said they were brothers from, was it Massachusetts or something? Right?
What are you going to do next?
They were making up some whole narrative.
Sell openings at funerals? I mean, what are you going to do?
They did. They crashed funerals to pick up girls. So, you might as well sell it to the funeral.
Yeah. Ron Burgundy did that, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I'm sorry. I think that's a little strange. I know it's expensive, but I don't think I'm with Diana on here said that's just bizarre. I think that's just bizarre.
Hey, someone said, I think it sounds like fun. It would be a fun girls' night out. Thank you. I could kind of see that because
if 3 girls wanted to go?
Why do you crash a wedding? Because of the adrenaline rush. Well, people probably want the free food and booze. But
sure they do.
But also, there's got to be some sort of an adrenaline rush if you get away with it with like, dude, we crashed a wedding. Oh, my God. Like, that's what I picture. So there's some element to that, even if you know you're going and you're paying where you don't know anybody. And then also this person just said a couple minutes ago on our text line, you just say we met online. You don't really have to go in. I mean, no one's going to be like, well, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Which website was that? And when was that? Could you give me some documentation to show me your online interaction? If you have some little one-liner
No.
There no more questions are asked.
I'm still a no. I think that's crazy. Now I've heard it all. Maybe potentially heard it all. That's something. All right, so the president went to New York last night, and depending on which media outlet you read about this morning, he either got booed loudly or there was loud applause. And I listened to the whole national anthem when they showed him. I thought he was getting applauded. There were clearly, you could hear the occasional cat call or boo in the background, but we'll talk about the whole thing coming up in just a minute.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning. Well, crews have been picking up the road work eastbound 64 past the 70 split. And the right shoulder may still be blocked, but they are picking that up. So there's a little bit of a delay out there, but it should improve quickly. And that's been about it at this hour. We still look good. Eastbound on 70 and 44. 64 really isn't bad from Prospect on in. And 55 is in good shape as well. We're quiet on the Illinois side and on the bridges downtown. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Let's talk about my friends at Grasser because they're doing it all these days. They got you covered. I'm sure you've heard those great commercials with Little Barrett about tree roots growing into your pipes. It happens. It's happened to all of us. You got to get somebody out there to root that stuff out. Why not have somebody you can trust who's been around for years, who's probably been taking care of your electrical needs forever? Grasser's doing both now, plumbing and electrical work, all from one great company that's been around going on its 51st year now. That's the kind of track record you want. Of course, great reviews. You can go online and read the reviews. I'm a satisfied customer many times over for their electrical use. And the minute I have plumbing problems, you know who I'm calling. I'm calling Shane and Josh Grasser and the fine folks out at Grasser. So just go online today. You can set your appointment right online. Of course, they do emergency service 24/7 if you're having electrical or plumbing problems. It's grasserelectric.com.
Hey, St. Louis, this is Brian Kilmeade. You know, I always have a great time when I visit you guys, and I'm coming back this November. So join me, Brian Kilmeade, by getting tickets for the show at The Factory at 971talk.com/events.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
You're back with Marc Cox and Kim St. Onge. The Marc Cox Morning Show, 97.1 FM Talk.
All right, Kim, I took some abuse while you were out. Because oftentimes I wouldn't sign into the comment line till, 6:30 or 7 a.m. and I missed a lot of early comments. And our commenter on here from the 714 was unhappy with me while you were gone. And this morning, welcome back, Kim. The listeners and the text line missed you. Let's go!
Because I log in right at 5. I got you, whoever you are, 714.
Last week, they typed in there, is this thing working? Because I've been sending in some bangers and nobody's mentioned it. And it's true, but I don't know. I was busy, had Dan in here and I was Uh-oh. Somebody says I might have too much earwax if I think the president was getting cheered at this game. Here's how much I care about the NBA. I hate the NBA. I don't watch the NBA. I think it's overhyped drama. They don't play any defense. I could care less. I don't even know that I would. I may tune in for the final game of an NBA game just because. Go ahead and get mad at me. One of the stars for the New York Knicks is a guy named Karl Anthony Towns.
He played for Kentucky.
And one of the players for the Spurs is De'Aaron Fox, and he played for Kentucky. So there are a couple of reasons I might watch one of those games, but I had no interest in this game last night. I thought it was being overhyped. I listened to Kilmeade. I mean, obviously, he lives in New York. He grew up with the Knicks. He's a huge Knicks fan. Everybody he had on his show yesterday talking about how the Knicks are going to sweep this series. You know why that never happens in the NBA? Because they can charge $500,000 for ringside seats. There was no way the Spurs were going to lose this in 4 games. They had to stretch it out to dramatize it because they're making more money on it, right? They've got San Antonio's a decent-sized market. New York's the biggest media market in the country. And there's to have that team in it, they want to stretch that dollar as far as they can. So I just knew what happened last night. San Antonio covered the spread, shocker, and they won in New York. So there'll be another game Wednesday night. It'll be even more hyped. I wouldn't be surprised if San Antonio doesn't win that one. Then they would throw it back to San Antonio for a game where the Knicks could win there and then come home and win it all in New York. I think the fix is probably in and the Knicks win it, but regardless, I'm not a huge fan.
I saw Fox was saying mixed reaction.
Well, they did, but I watched one of these clips. I'll have to tell. I'm going to find it here. I watched one of these clips on the one of the clip services that we use, and you got to play the whole thing. Here's what it sounded like to me as I listened to it, because there's a guy in the background, and he's no Charles Glenn singing the national anthem, but he was one of those guys that overplayed certain notes, and then you would hear cheers erupt for him at different parts of the song. So it was kind of hard to say whether or not the cheers were for the president or for the singer. I'm going to play a little bit of it. I mean, it's a minute 20 is this clip, but you can hear both applause and you can hear some boos in the background, but the camera's on the president, who's standing at attention for the entire time. So here we go. So there are whistles, there are cheers, there are clearly boos. There are cheers. More cheers. So this picture stays on the president the whole time. Whatever the initial reaction was, it was clearly a mixture. When they asked the president about it afterwards, he claimed they were cheering for him. I definitely heard some boos in there. But it's New York. I mean, for God's sake.
Also, why do we care that much?
I don't know.
Well, why is this even a topic of
because
it's all over. Every media outlet's talking about this today.
Thank you. Because several big commentators on ESPN and who's the movie guy, the short little movie producer who's always in the front row at the Knicks games. I can't think of his name. What's his name?
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee. That's his name. They both came out in advance and said Trump had no business being there. Well, you know what? Donald Trump grew up in New York, and he's been a Knicks fan since the 80s.
And
I mean,
also, he can go to a game
he
whether
can-
he's a Knicks fan or
can-
not. Who cares?
I know, but-
Why do people have so many opinions about this?
I don't. That's. But you ask why it was a controversy. That's why it was a controversy, because all of these Trump haters like Spike Lee came out and said he had no business being there. Well, Spike Lee hates Trump. If it was Obama, he would have been all over it. I mean,
who are you to determine
so
whether or
political.
not he should be there? If the guy wants to go to a game, he can go, whether he cares about basketball or not, whether he cares about the teams playing. Who cares?
Plus-
Let the dude go. Who cares if they boot him? Who cares if they applaud him? Every time you go to a sporting event like that and you have a president, Democrat or Republican, you're going to get a mixed reaction. You just are.
And unlike most of those people that were mad about it, they can't just make a phone call and get a seat in the owner's box, which is Trump was there with his granddaughter, Kai, the golfer, and several of his cabinet members apparently were all there in the owner's box last night. So good for him. Good luck next time, New York Knicks. We'll be back in the next hour. We got the St. Louis Morning Brief for you. We'll get to In Other News, Todd Piro in the 7 o'clock hour. Stay tuned.
The Gatlin Brothers and Crystal Gale are coming to the Family Arena for one magical night of country and Christmas, December 17th. It's the Gatlin Brothers Farewell Tour, and Crystal Gale is joining them to celebrate an evening of country's greatest hits and beautiful Christmas music. Don't miss the Gatlin Brothers and Crystal Gale. Tickets are available at the Carroll House Furniture box office at the Family Arena or at Ticketmaster.
One of rock's legendary voices, the original voice of Foreigner, Lou Gramm, The Release Tour. Saturday, October 10th, the Family Arena with special guest John Waite. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena and Ticketmaster. Don't miss the original voice of Foreigner. Lou Gramm in concert. New album released coming March 27th.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25 plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
Marc Cox here from my friends at Zero Res. Summer is finally here. It's time to take advantage of Zero Res's best deal of the summer. They can handle every surface in your home. The carpets, the tile and grout, the upholstery and rugs, your air ducts and more. And right now you need to reach out to them because, listen, vacuuming is not enough to maintain the cleanliness and the lifespan of your carpet. Go to Zero Res, 314-474-2020, and ask for the 97.1 special.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
It's primary day in 4 states. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. In Maine, Democrat Graham Plattner has no real challenge in his Senate primary.
One Maine voter explained why he thinks Plattner's many controversies, including a Nazi tattoo Plattner says he's since covered, aren't problematic for many Democratic voters.
They want to get rid of Susan Collins, take over the Senate, and that's the bottom line. He could be Adolf Hitler. It doesn't matter who he is.
His primary opponents include government worker and previous Senate candidate David Costello. While Governor Janet Mills' name remains on the ballot, she suspended her campaign in April over a lack of funding. The Republican incumbent Senator Susan Collins has no primary challenger. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Senate Republican Lindsey Graham's up for re-election in South Carolina. There's a governor's race there. In Nevada and Maine, there are also primaries in North Dakota today. Democrat City Council member Nithya Raman advances to the general election in the Los Angeles mayor's race, beating Republican Spencer Pratt for the number 2 spot against Democrat incumbent Karen Bass.
Bass's campaign was already on the attack after Rahman pushed ahead of Spencer Pratt by about 3,000 votes after ballot dumps over the weekend. Bass's campaign said, quote, a campaign against Nithya Raman, who allows encampments near schools and cuts the police force, is one Mayor Bass is looking forward to winning.
That's Fox's Christina Coleman. The San Antonio Spurs win Game 3 of the NBA Finals, 115-111. Breaking the New York Knicks' record 13-game playoff win streak. President Trump attended the game at Madison Square Garden.
During the national anthem, he was saluting the American flag, and Knicks fans loudly booed him as he appeared to smirk through the whole thing. Trump sat next to Knicks owner James Dolan, who invited him. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani also attended. He did not meet with President Trump during his visit. Fans tonight couldn't bring bags, and they went through a TSA-style security check.
It's Fox's Nate Foy. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. 78 degrees and climbing right now at 6:03. Here's what's making headlines on this Tuesday, June 9th. The Missouri Supreme Court has struck down an effort to change the ballot language about state income taxes. This comes after the Western District Court of Appeals ruled that the ballot language didn't clearly state what the amendment would even do. Missourians will be voting on whether to eliminate state income taxes in August. A 6-7 event in Shrewsbury quickly got out of control and led to more than 300 teens fighting in a parking lot. Police say Sky Zone on Watson was hosting this 6-7 event Sunday afternoon. Investigators say the teens eventually ran into nearby stores, caused damage, and threatened customers and employees, forcing some stores to close early. Police confiscated a butcher knife from a 12-year-old girl who says she took an Uber from Florissant to get into a fight after seeing it on social media. Several teens were taken into custody. St. Charles County is considering a short-term ban on new apartment buildings. This proposed 6-month ban would apply specifically to unincorporated areas. The county council has only approved construction of one apartment complex in 20 years for unincorporated St. Charles County. The council is expected to vote on the moratorium later on this month. In sports, Cards on the road facing the Mets tonight, first pitch 6:10. And President Trump attended Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Spurs beat the Knicks 115-111. Knicks leading the series 2-1. And Game 4 of the Stanley Cup tonight, 7 o'clock. Golden Knights have a 2-1 lead in that series over the Hurricanes. We're coming up on 6:05 here this Tuesday morning, 78 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Looking good on the roads at this hour. And eastbound 70 looks great from Warrenton into downtown. We are in good shape on 6440 as well. Yes, looking good really throughout the entire area, both the Missouri and Illinois sides. Construction zone alert for you today, 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. on Olive in St. Louis County. They'll close one eastbound and westbound lane between 270 and North Office Parkway. People over there may be used to that, but that will be 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. today. This report is brought to you by The Diamond Shop. The Diamond Shop, making St. Louis sparkle for over 100 years. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Looking for a mix of clouds and sunshine on this Tuesday with more in the way of sun for the afternoon, but still a chance for some spotty showers and thunder showers around. Nothing like yesterday. Very humid. 92, kind of hot too. Tonight, clear, warm, very humid. 76 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny, hot, and humid. Nothing more than a pop thunderstorm. Wednesday will be the hottest of the week. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It is 6:06 and we're at 78 degrees. You can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you wherever you go. Listen to the show from anywhere on our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, welcome back in on a Tuesday morning, the 9th day of June. Kim St. Onge back in the house this morning after a few well-deserved days off. And our thanks to Dan Buck for filling in. We appreciate that. He may be back on Friday. Do we think
yeah,
that
it sounds
maybe?
like he will be.
All
yeah.
right, good. I think so. I've got the day off Friday. Good friend of mine is coming to town. He was my college roommate, in fact, and I'm so excited to see him. We're going to hang out. We're probably going to maybe visit Dr. Green while he's here. We're going to go to the Bourbon and Brews Festival on Saturday over in Cottleville. We're going to go to the Sammy Hagar Best of Both Worlds concert Saturday night. Hear a little Van Halen music.
Wow, this does sound like your ideal weekend.
Going to wake up and probably have a little sore head on Sunday morning, and then he's going to drive back to Cincinnati. So
is that Bourbon and Brews Festival? Is that the one in Frankie Martin's?
It is, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, we had them on, in fact, on Friday. We had them on talking about that coming up. There were still some tickets available, by the way. I think the VIP gate opens at 11, and then it opens to regular tickets at noon, I believe, and they've got craft beers and obviously lots of people out there who want you to sample different bourbons and stuff. So it's a good time. Food trucks are there. It's my friends at Lit Cigar Lounge are going to be there. It's going to be a good time. So anyway, looking forward to a good weekend. Hopefully it'll cool down a little bit, man. That humidity will smack you in the face when you walk outside this morning. I wasn't prepared for that.
It's 90s for the high pretty much all week, it sounds like.
It's
the humidity that really is rough.
Yeah, it will embrace you when you hit the door this morning, just so you know. And I guess where there's a chance of some weather at some point today, just be on the lookout for that. I don't know, whenever it's just hot, the humidity in the atmosphere gets charged up. You might end up having some storms. I think we're in a little bit of a high-risk category for today, so keep an eye on the skies. We've got Todd Piro coming up in the next hour, host of Fox and Friends First with his brand new open, which he seems to appreciate. We got Mark Walters is going to be joining us with 2A Tuesday. And this Tallarico guy out of Texas is talking a new tune now that he's in the general election. He's suddenly got to come back, try to come closer to the center. And he wants you to believe that he's now a gun supporter. Although he eats red meat, and now he's a gun supporter, which wasn't either of those things in the primary.
Did I see also he's saying he does not support trans surgeries for minors?
Oh, supposedly.
Yeah.
Now he's come back to that, even though God is non-binary and doesn't really care. Now, if God was non-binary and didn't really care, he would support transitions for minors.
He cares about all 6 genders.
Man, what is this country coming to? In fact, J.D. Vance was talking about that a little bit yesterday when he was on with Jesse Waters last night. We're going to get to some of that for you here in just a couple of minutes. Ethan, why don't we go ahead and get to some of our top stories, please?
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
My free political advice to Democrats is very simple. It's just nominate normal human beings. Don't run on men playing in women's sports. Don't run on letting illegal immigrants flood our country. And don't run on letting fraudsters in Minnesota take advantage of the American taxpayer. And you guys would do a lot better.
How about that? The Attorney General, Keith Ellison, and the governor up there in Minnesota knew about this fraud for years, according to a House committee report, and they let it go because the Somali voter base was important enough to them that they didn't want to upset anybody. And God knows how many tens of millions of dollars that cost U.S. taxpayers.
What if he has like a Israeli flag tattoo or something? Would that be a deal breaker?
For me?
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
That would be
Israeli?
the deal breaker?
Yeah, because I don't support genocide, and he doesn't either. And that would show that he was being inconsistent. And he's been very consistent about that. Straight across the board.
These are the crazies that are supporting this Graham Plattner idiot up in Maine. I mean, honestly, she doesn't mind that he's got a Nazi tattoo, but if he had an Israel tattoo, she wouldn't vote for him. These are the morons who might decide the Senate race in Maine for the Democrats.
Because in California, it's the most populous state. We all know that. And they actually have signature verification. So they look at every single signature. And if those signatures do not match what they have on file, they then go back to the person and they say, was this you?
The View. Trying to convince you that the fact that it's taking longer to count the votes in California is a good thing. This is what they're trying to sell you on The View these days.
The federal government funds the food stamp program, so we asked all the states to partner with us. It's time to have accountability. The red states, of course, did. And with that red state data, we found 200,000 dead people getting food stamps. We found 500,000 people that were getting more than one benefit. And y'all, this was in the red states. The blue states wouldn't give us the data.
Thank you. Brooke Rawlings there running the ag department. Don't be distracted because 4 people have got some flu that's going around. That's going to be the next big story. You should freak out. The one more than the number of people on this morning crew here have an illness. So the 300 million people in the country should be worried about that nonsense. What you should be worried about is what she's uncovered here when it comes to fraud within the agriculture department in the food stamp program. The Democrats have ignored all of this because they see it as a giveaway program. That's why they don't care. It's not their money. It's your money that they're giving away to fraudsters. And that's why they won't give up the records to the FDA. If I'm the Food and Drug Administration, what I say is, guess what? Until you release the records of who's getting this stuff, we're not giving you any more money. Mm-hmm. And they'll find some liberal judge that won't let them get away with that. But that sounds to me like that's what needs to happen. Listen to her entire soundbite here. Go to cut 3, please.
In a letter to every governor in America, no one had ever held the states accountable. The federal government funds the food stamp program. We send hundreds of millions of dollars a day to the states, but there'd never been a back-end accountability on how is that money getting spent. So we asked all the states to partner with us. It's time to have accountability. The red states, of course, did. And with that red state data, we found 200,000 dead people getting food stamps. We found 500,000 people that were getting more than one benefit. And y'all, this was in the red states. The blue states wouldn't give us the data. They're suing us. We're in massive litigation right now, looking to cut those funds off until they give us that data. But the fraud is so rampant and so stunning that when the president, the vice president, and our team talks about, when we can root all this fraud out, we're going to really be able to cut the deficit, make sure we're protecting the taxpayer, but also make sure we're protecting the families that rely on these programs at the same time and by getting the fraud out.
I got to say, I have been a fan in the past of block grants, like where instead of the federal government administering something, you say, here are the dollars, give it to the state, let the states administer it. But clearly in this case, what the Democrats have been doing is taking the money and allowing it to be fraudulently given away to whoever they choose to give it to without any oversight. And then when the federal government comes back and wants to ask questions, they don't want to share the data.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I would cut you off tomorrow.
I don't understand.
No more cash.
The fact that they're not being forced to show the data is what really irks me about this.
Yes.
They're really just buying votes, because as long as they have people thinking that they're getting free stuff under their leadership, well, who are they going to continue to vote for?
Seems obvious. But Brooke Rollins is trying to sort it out. Anyway, we can hope that they keep that up, since the Doge website hasn't been updated in about a year. That's still shocking to me. I got to say, they found a bunch of stuff, and then it just hasn't been updated since like March of last year. I don't know why. All right, we'll get to a break here. Coming up, we'll get to the St. Louis Morning Brief, a little more in-depth look at some local stories. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Yeah, we still look good on the roads. If you're just headed out, things look great through North County. No delays on westbound 270. Eastbound 70 is in great shape. Wright City into downtown. 55 looks good. We're quiet on the Illinois side. Now, there's some volume along eastbound Highway 30 this morning, but that's just because of stoplights. So that is fine at this hour as well. And no delays on the bridges if you are headed in from Illinois. This report brought to you by McKelvey Homes. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
Hey, what are you doing this afternoon? My guess is you're hiding in the air conditioning. Why is that? Because guess what? Baby, it's humid outside. This is when you really depend on whoever it is takes care of your air conditioning in your home, or your business for that matter, because my friends at Air Comfort Service do commercial and residential work. They're there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If your air conditioner's struggling to keep up when it's this hot outside, you got to get it looked at. Sometimes just the coils need to be cleaned. It can be a pretty simple maintenance thing. Here's the great thing about Air Comfort Service. I'm on their preferred partner plan. They called me yesterday to schedule my next visit when they're going to come out and check out my air conditioner. They check out the furnace and the air conditioner a couple of times a year on this plan. And then if I have problems, I get preferred scheduling. I get discounts on parts. I mean, and service, it's just fantastic. That's not unique to me. You can be on the preferred partner plan as well. Call them up over there and tell them Marc Cox sent you. 314-513-0091. They put in my HVAC about 2 years ago. It's been great. And Corey Malone and the folks at Air Comfort stand behind what they install, and you take that to the bank. For 314-513-0091 is the phone number, and online anytime. Tell them Mark sent you. Go to aircomfortservice.com.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter. They're the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter of St. Louis. Call 314-499-2020. That's 499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofSt.Louis.com. That's GeneratorSuperCenterofSt.Louis.com.
The time now is 6:19. This time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Looks like a 6-7 event got out of hand over the weekend. Mark and Kim are going to delve into that in the St. Louis Morning Brief right now.
St. Louis. Morning Brief.
Yeah, fair to say that it got out of hand, and it got out of hand very quickly. So Shrewsbury Police Department ends up responding to the Sky Zone on Watson Road around 3:45 or so Sunday afternoon. Business was hosting this 6-7 event. Well, what happened was some 300 to 350 teens started fighting. They're pouring into the parking lot. Police come. They basically scatter. They end up running into nearby stores, Walmart, Aldi, and they said that they were causing damage. They were threatening the customers, threatening the employees. So some of these businesses had to close early. And then the crowd started throwing rocks at police officers.
Bricks, maybe?
Well,
or just rocks.
They probably wouldn't stop with the rocks.
You know, I know there are some racial overtones to this, but you can look at the video and see it for yourself. It's not controversial to say that a lot of the kids that were in attendance at this thing got drawn in by social media. That's why they were there. Many of them drove. One girl heard about it on social media, got a kitchen knife, got in an Uber, and had the Uber drop her off down there. 12 years old.
12-year-old girl, brings a butcher knife. The fact that this stuff is broadcasting out over social media, and I don't know which one it was, but they're probably going live, so people have plenty of time to tune in and see what's going on, and then somehow take an Uber all the way from Florissant.
Yeah.
That's psychotic.
It is absolutely.
And where are the parents?
Where were the parents? And I don't know that the new law's in effect yet, where juvenile parents are going to be held more accountable for what's going on here with their kids. But it's well past time. Your 11-year-old should not be able to get in an Uber or 12 and go somewhere without your parents' knowledge.
Right. How is a 12-year-old even ordering an Uber? I'd like to know that.
That's a good
lot
question.
Of questions.
Yes.
Really crazy story, really sad. This plane that was supposedly on its way to pick up Yadier Molina ended up crashing, and the pilot and co-pilot were both killed.
The video is horrible.
I did not see the video yet.
Wow. You can see it start to go up, and then it comes back down, and the rear end of it hits the ground and just goes up in flames. And very sad that thank goodness. I mean, it's sad enough that the two people on board were killed. Can you imagine if that had happened after it already picked Yachty up?
So it says that it's actually happened in the Dominican Republic. They were trying to make an emergency landing, but supposedly the plane was bound for Texas to pick up Molina along with his family and friends.
Yes.
So he was just saying, my condolences to the pilots and family. But gosh, that's very terrifying. This whole situation in Festus with the data center is just getting more interesting by the day. So if you remember, there was a petition. They had enough signatures to basically call for a special election because they're trying to recall the mayor and 3 of the city council members. So the clerk there in Jefferson County had already essentially signed off and verified, you had enough signatures for this petition. But instead, when the city council met last night to go over, I guess, the details of this special election, what they did instead was they decided to vote to not even have a special election at all.
How can they override the will of the voters who called for a special election?
This is so confusing to me, the fact that, this is even allowed. Now, here's what the attorney was saying who represents the mayor and the 3 council members who were up for recall. He basically said, look, if you're trying to do a recall, you really can only do a recall when someone has violated the law, not because of a policy disagreement.
I got to tell you, if you really want to piss off the public and stir up a hornet's nest, just ignore them when thousands of them have signed a petition to recall you.
Yeah.
I don't think they have any idea what they're in for in Festus.
And there's already lawsuits. They're going to challenge this. It says here in the article that I'm reading, it says it remains unclear what comes next for the residents who launched the petition and the recall effort. Organizers said only now are they moving on to Plan B, and I don't know what Plan B is.
Yeah, they won't say, but I'm sure this will end up in a court somewhere.
Yeah. So St. Charles County, there's been a big effort. I know Bill Eigel, this is huge for him, of course, running for St. Charles County executive, talking about these apartment buildings that are being built. And he really wants to slow that down. And we've even spoken to some of the individual municipalities there in St. Charles County who also agree that they need to put some sort of a cap. And the question, I guess, is what kind of a cap is that? Well, there's a proposal in St. Charles County to put a 6-month pause, basically, on construction or approval of any new apartment complex, but it would specifically be for the unincorporated areas.
Right. They can't
dictate, I guess, for the individual jurisdictions.
Well, I
the
attended
municipalities.
I attended the debate, and the three candidates had slightly different positions on that. I think Elman called for the moratorium briefly while they take a look at things, and I could be wrong, but I think that Eigel and Jason Law were both on board with pretty much banning any new apartment complexes, like a flat out ban on new apartment complexes. But you can't influence what they're going to do in O'Fallon or St. Peter's or individual municipalities like that. So what they've talked about doing is trying to go in and influence that by getting people who agree with them elected to the boards in those communities.
Yeah.
What else do you do?
I don't know.
It addresses the affordability issue.
Right.
But then it also causes traffic congestion and everything else when you load up one street with a 1,000 unit complex of apartments.
Yeah, I see it both
Highway
ways.
K is a
because
nightmare right now.
They're saying that a lot of like the nurses or the trade school students, there's a lot of people who, are working professionals who wouldn't be causing a ruckus, that they would be the ones who would be wanting to use these apartment buildings. And I get that. But then if we just build them like crazy, that's also a deterrent. And is that really the future that we want? I'm glad that I'm not a person in the position of having to make this decision because it is challenging. I see why they're trying to do it, but ultimately we have to have some of these apartment buildings. It's just a matter of, okay, where do we cap it?
Yeah.
Missouri Supreme Court yesterday ended up refusing to hear an appeal that related to the ballot language for the amendment we're going to see in August on removing the state income tax. Basically, the Western District Court of Appeals had tried to say that it was misleading, it was confusing the way that Amendment 5 would be worded, that it wasn't clear how they would be implementing the sales tax, kind of as a supplement. But anyway, the Missouri Supreme Court just decided not to take it up, didn't give a reason for not taking the case, just refused to hear it. So it's going on. They're not going to change the ballot language because that was really what they wanted, was, hey, you need to revise this to make it clearer.
Well, I mean, a lot of people don't think that's going to pass. We'll see.
You don't think it will?
Well, a lot of people don't think it's going to pass. I don't know. I mean, I think it should pass. There are conservatives I know, though, who are nervous about it because they don't think it's detailed enough and that future legislatures could abuse it and raise other sales taxes because it doesn't specifically prohibit some of that in here. It's not structured enough. I think we need to get rid of the income tax in the state of Missouri, and it's going to help the economy when we do that, and it's going to spread that tax out. It's going to be a user tax is what it is. The more you use, the more you pay. That's pretty much how that's going to work. Instead of penalizing producers, which is what an income tax does. And the liberals hate that idea. Hate that idea that they can't take your money and spend it the way they want to. That's kind of how that works. All right, coming up, we'll get to a surprise for you coming up right after the break. Stay tuned.
If you replace an old system with a new system, your bills will go down. Promise you. The so-called high-efficiency stuff only works if your house is efficient. I don't care about single-stage, double-stage, multi-stage, variable speed, blah, 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 and SEER ratings. How long can I keep the heat inside my house? And how long do I keep the heat outside? That's efficiencies. If you want an air conditioner that will cool your house in the heat of the day, and you want a furnace that will heat your house in the coldest of days, or you need a new furnace or air conditioner, you want common sense approach, no pressures, and just probably, I would have to say, with no bias, the best company I've ever seen. Are you ready? They have one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600, or on the internet, bartinman.com. Now that is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good
Good morning. Well, we've got a little bit of a slowdown eastbound on 64, right around Wing Haven, kind of out in the construction zone there. And once you get past there, things will open up and look fine into downtown. We're fine on eastbound 70. But road work on the Illinois side already causing delays westbound 55-64, as that's just about 3rd Street. Back through the 70-64-55 split. It's already a jam this morning. Things look fine on the bridges. If you want to cut across and just take the King Bridge, it looks fine. Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge in good shape. Little bit of volume this morning eastbound on Highway 30, especially at 270. But other than that, we actually look pretty good. If you're taking the JB Bridge, things look excellent. This report brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they have been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes inside and out. They do everything from windows to bathrooms and give you quality craftsmanship and lifetime warranties. Go to lakesiderd.com. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Let's talk about your flooring. I can brag about mine. In fact, somebody asked me about it when we had our get-together this past weekend because they knew the person that had lived in our house before. They were saying, hey, I see you've changed up the flooring. We did, because we moved in. There was some carpeting in the living room area, and it was sort of an off-white, and we didn't think that was going to work for our lifestyle. Where do we go? We went to Michael's Flooring Outlet, as we have on 3 other occasions, and we picked out new flooring for our pretty much for the whole living area on the first floor. We left the tile in the kitchen, and we put in engineered hardwood, which is durable and beautiful, and we don't have to worry about our dog damaging it as she runs around and plays at 60 pounds. Michael's is great with that. They're great with advice. They're great with ideas. If you're looking for new trends, they've got them all. If you're a do-it-yourselfer, they've got a do-it-yourself desk at their St. Peter's location, which is where the warehouse is. But you can go to any of the 3 stores, Darden Prairie, West St. Louis County, or Old Town St. Peter's, and you're going to get the same great advice. Mike works hard to bring in the latest products like that Mohawk Revwood, which is waterproof flooring that looks like hardwood, but it is impervious to water. It's perfect for areas where you've got kids with muddy feet or pets or whatever the case may be. Check them out online at igotfloor.com.
Today,
The Cards, the Mets.
St. Ben Cancer Center game time 6:10. Play ball! St. Ben Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
The home of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey, Stewie, I need some cash. I need money. Who doesn't need money? What can you do for me?
You know, Annie, this is a question people ask all the time. Now, pay attention because this is important. Don't get a home equity line of credit. A home equity line of credit is a credit card in your house. It's typically not a fixed rate, so it's an adjustable. You pay interest only. And there's a short-term opportunity to take the money out, and then later on, it turns into a loan that's a really high interest rate. Cash out refinance. That's the most important thing. Refinance your entire mortgage. Get the best rate that's out there. Give yourself the opportunity to refinance later when the rates drop. A cash out refinance is a little bit higher of a rate than a rate and term refinance. Do the cash out now, set yourself up for the future, and get the best deal out there. Just do me one favor. Don't tell my wife about this because she's going to want all the cash in the world to buy a new car.
Well, if you want to know more, Google the Bagel Loan to find out more information or call my friend Stewie, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
25 years strong. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Well, we'll brag here a little bit because the Missouri Broadcaster Awards were this weekend down at the Lake of the Ozarks, and the Marc Cox Morning Show, courtesy of one Kim St. Ange, brought home the first place award for interviews for last year in this award ceremony. It was fantastic. Congratulations to Kim, because it was her idea for us to focus on an organization called the Foley Foundation, and we want to play that interview for you now.
Here at 97.1, we have what's called Talk in Action. And if you're not familiar with it, we like to highlight different organizations that are doing incredible and very important work. And this month, we are highlighting the James Foley Legacy Foundation. This is an organization, it is very near and dear to my family's heart, and it was started back in 2014 after journalist James Foley, as you might remember, was kidnapped and then later murdered by ISIS. Joining us now is the president and founder of the Foley Foundation, James's mother, Diane Foley. Diane, good morning to you.
Good morning, Kim.
Tell us about the work that your organization does, because you started this nonprofit, 3 months after your son was murdered?
Actually, 3 weeks,
3 weeks.
Kim, because our country chose not to negotiate for the 4 Americans who were held by ISIS back in 2012 through 2014. And I just felt as a country we could do better. And so we started the Foley Foundation within 3 weeks of Jim's beheading, thanks to many, many good people who stepped up. Strangers, people in government, people from all over the world, really, because we felt that we had a moral duty as a nation to secure the freedom of innocent Americans who were targeted simply because they're Americans. We also promote journalist safety and seek to inspire a moral courage in ourselves and in others.
Well, Mrs. Foley, Marc Cox here. I know you then watched what's happened, obviously, in Israel and the hostages in Gaza. What's your reaction to that? I mean, it's been a very slow, very painful process in many cases.
Very well said, Mark. It's really a human rights travesty that nations and terrorists, criminals, are using innocent people as pawns in situations like this when they want leverage. So we've been working with the people who've been taken hostage to support them in every way we can, as have many, many others who've come on board to help. So God willing, we can get the rest home and have some peace in that part of the world. It is hugely, it just makes everything worse when innocent victims are used as commodities for negotiation, if you will. But that's what's happening.
I just watched the documentary last night. It's called Jim, the James Foley Story, which I highly recommend to everyone to watch. It's hard to see what happened. And in that, you were mentioning how, and you kind of touched on this, how you felt like our government abandoned your son, these other journalists who were held hostage, because you're watching some of these others who were held captive from France and Germany. They were being released. So their governments must have been doing something different. Has it been better since since this whole thing in 2014 when you started this organization, or has it still been difficult? A lot of red tape that you're having to deal with?
It's always challenging, but many good things have happened, Kim. Now we have what we call informally a hostage enterprise here in the United States. We actually have people at the State Department, FBI, and White House who are accountable for bringing home innocent Americans. And since 2015, more than 150 innocent Americans have come home. So, but I do feel we need to be aware as a nation. Part of the reason we use the film and the book American Mother is to raise awareness. So Americans are aware that they can be targeted when they travel internationally, particularly in certain parts of the world, such as Russia, China, Iran, Syria. Those are the big ones at the moment. But there are many others, places where Americans are targeted when traveling.
So as you've observed this, Diane, obviously politics plays a role in this, an unfortunate role, and you've seen more action out of some of these politicians than others over the years, and some of the decisions seem blatantly political, don't they? I mean, I'm not naming names here, but I'm thinking back to Brittany Griner being held in Russia. She was brought home, but there were other Americans that were left there. There wasn't as much work put on their behalf.
However, those who were left behind have been brought home since.
Yes.
So it is true, Mark, that at times that's been part of the struggle. The one good thing has been that it is truly a bipartisan effort. It's an American effort. It's not. Both the Biden and Trump administrations have made this a priority, for which I'm hugely grateful. It is true that sometimes when a person is more of a celebrity, it is easier, if you will, to bring them home. It's never easy to negotiate the release, but often their prominence helps. I mean, there's no doubt that it can help. But I'm happy to report that several of the people who were left behind when Brittany came home are since home, like Paul Whelan, like Mark Fogel. They have since returned also. So that's part of the work that we do, is that we work often with families who may not have the clout or a big WNBA organization behind them or something. Many people have no one to help them advocate. So that's where we come in.
The talk with everything going on with Hamas and these hostages is that you're trying to negotiate with terrorists. And I mentioned that documentary about your son and how they were sending you emails and they were demanding money and all sorts of things. And then they would just stop responding to you. And it's the same kind of thing, right? Where you're trying to negotiate with people who really are not interested in actually negotiating.
Well, that's true, Kim, to some extent. However, captors usually take people for a reason. So that's where some shrewd negotiation needs to take place. They want something for their captors. So our role is for shrewd diplomacy, and also at the same time we've got to work on deterrence, because the last thing we want to do is incentivize people, nation states or terrorists from taking more innocent victims. Right. So therein is the challenge, Kim. We've really gotten better at identifying those citizens that we feel have been wrongfully detained. We have criteria now in the Levinson Hostage-Taking Act, so it's codified. It's the law of the land. So that we're doing better at, but we, at the same time, need to work on strategies to deter the practice, to make it hurt, if you will, to take an American citizen. That's our challenge before us.
How do people get involved? Because this is an issue that, as a country, we're dealing with and we'll sadly continue dealing with. So if people are interested in learning more about James Foley Legacy Foundation, they want to get involved, what can they do?
Oh, wow. Thank you for asking, Kim. One way is to watch the documentary, Jim, the James Foley Story, or read our book, American Mother, which is the story of an ordinary American like myself who had this horrible thing happen when our oldest son was kidnapped while working as a journalist in Syria. So you can also go to our website, jamesfoleyfoundation.org. We always need the support of generous folks who care about our national security and the safety of our journalists, and who wish to inspire that moral courage in our youth. So we have a Foley Freedom Run every October that's virtual and worldwide. Anyone can join and get a T-shirt and be part of the effort. We also have an event in Washington every year when we gather hostage families and people who've returned to get help for those who are still held and to bring others home. So there are many ways to get involved, but I greatly appreciate anyone going to our website at foleyfoundation.org.
We love the work that you're doing at the Foley Foundation, and we're so happy we can feature you on our website. So if you go to 971talk.com, you'll be able to read more about the James Foley Legacy Foundation. There's a link if you are interested in donating or getting involved, like you said, Diane. Thank you again for what you're doing and for giving us some time this morning.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I thank you, folks. So appreciate you.
You bet. Pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much, and good to get her on here.
Can I say something really quickly? I mentioned in the beginning how this is an organization that's near and dear to my family's heart, and I want to explain why. We don't know anyone, well, personally, I should say, who's been held hostage, but my mom actually worked for James Foley's grandfather. He was a dean at Plymouth State College. It's now Plymouth State University. And he wrote my mom a letter of recommendation that was just glowing. And it helped her get her first job. It was such a kind note. And you actually might remember, Mark and Carl, since you were at my mom's funeral, one of my sisters actually read a portion of that recommendation because it meant so much to her that she kept it. So when my mom found out about this and heard James Foley in 2014, that he had been beheaded, that video went viral on YouTube. They showed it. It was so sad. My mom really fell in love with this organization. She and my dad donate. They've actually gone to New England and they've participated in that walk. So this is something that meant a lot to my mom, to my family, and so I just am really grateful for 97.1 for allowing us to shed light on this organization.
I'm glad we can help out. We'll do our part. All right, there you have it. Now, that interview, congratulations, by the way, Kim, for bringing that up. That interview won first place by the Missouri Broadcasters Award. That was a year ago in April when we aired that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, getting emotional. I don't know. It has been an organization that's meant a lot to my family, and that was something where, like you heard me say, in lieu of flowers, we said, hey, this would mean a lot to my mom if you donated to the Foley Foundation. And some of you who were listening or regular listeners of the show did donate. So that's really neat, and thank you for any of you who took part in that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. All right, and we're going to be back within other news right after this.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got road work going on the Illinois side, and westbound 55-64 is jammed up at 3rd Street. They've got lane closures there, and that's a jam that goes back through the 70 split. By the way, these lane closures and the road work will be in effect until the 20th of this month. So, yeah, that's what we're dealing with there. Now, northbound 270 has picked up some moderate volume, mainly around Doherty Ferry through Manchester. Eastbound 64, slow a little bit out west at the 70 split, and then again on either side of Wing Haven before it opens up into downtown. Northbound 55 looks pretty good this morning. Eastbound Highway 30 a little bit slow at 270. Yeah, we're in okay shape, but expect that delay on the Illinois side headed for the Poplar. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Let's talk about Overhead Door Company for just a minute. Of course, they are my garage door company, and they've saved me when my spring broke on my garage a while back. They'll do the same thing for you. I love companies that have been around a long time. They just have an extra spring in their step, right, so to speak. Pardon the pun. But they do. They've been around 100 years. That's a lot of confidence in what they're doing. And there's nothing you've got going on with your garage door that they haven't seen, that they haven't fixed, that they haven't replaced over the years. So if you have a problem, here's their number, 314-781-5200. Put it in your phone, put it on a sticky note, and stick it up by your garage door so that when it does stop working, because eventually you will have a problem, you know who to call. Now, if you're thinking about new garage doors, new front entry doors, new gates, anything like that, you can talk to the Overhead Door Company. They've got a beautiful selection. You can go on their website and see all those different garage doors, the modern, the classic looks that you can get, and you can depend on the original Overhead Door Company. 314-781-5200, overheaddoorstlouis.com.
Hey, St. Louis, this is Brian Kilmeade. You know, I always have a great time when I visit you guys, and I'm coming back this November. So join me, Brian Kilmeade, by getting tickets for the show at The Factory at 971talk.com/events.
Marc Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Bob and Tammy Kershaw of the Retirement Advisor Group, to learn how to create your worry-free retirement. We'll meet June 16th at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield at 6:30. Here are Bob and Tammy with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how to turn your 401k and IRA into a worry-free retirement? Would you like to learn the strategies that give you market growth but protects you from market losses at the same time?
Would you like to get a free personalized retirement income plan? And did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to create a worry-free retirement? If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Have a worry-free retirement. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, at the Doubletree Hotel in Chesterfield, Tuesday, June 16th at 6:30. Go to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
It's not your typical game day look. Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium, the Cardinals face the Miami Marlins, and fans can receive a soccer-style Cardinals jersey presented by Purina. Clean, sporty, and unmistakably Cardinals, it brings a fresh energy to the ballpark from first pitch on, and kids take home a vibrant Cardinals soccer ball to keep the action going long after the final out. 2 ways to play, one big Sunday. Get tickets at cardinals.com/promotions.
Every Sunday home game is a Kids Sunday at Busch Stadium. From Team Fred Birding games to a kid-friendly DJ, ice cream, and family-favorite activities. Sundays are built for young fans. Plus, select Sundays feature kids run the bases after the game. It's a day made for smiles, memories, and Cardinals baseball together. Make Sundays your family tradition at Busch Stadium. Tickets and details at cardinals.com/Kids Sunday.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
What's happening?
Go, you know the thing.
What the hell is going on?
In other news.
Well, if you've heard me talk about my many trips to Glacier National Park, I've joked many times that I'm concerned about the bears because there are grizzly bears there, right? So when you hike way back into the mountains somewhere, they have big signs on the trail that say "Be Bear Aware." Well, already this year they've had one guy killed in Glacier by a bear, and another guy got attacked this past week on a trail in Glacier National Park. It happened May 28th. They didn't release the information until the other day. Second time in a month that a visitor's been attacked there. He was on his way up the Grinnell Glacier Trail, which I've hiked. And he's walking along. He sees a bear cub, which is never a good thing. Oh. And then he got attacked. Listen.
Daniel Crago of San Carlos was hiking in Montana's Glacier National Park when he came face to face with a huge bear.
As soon as we looked at each other, it charged down at me.
He tells San Diego's Fox 5 News he didn't have time to grab his bear spray.
I just kind of closed my eyes and put my arm up, bit down on my arm, dragged me a little bit and let me go. And I kind of did a flip, landed on my back.
And the bear left him alone after that, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I saw a picture. I Googled it. I saw a picture of the x-ray of his arm, and it snapped his arm bone, like his forearm. It just snapped. Fortunately, he had another guy with him, and they were able to get him off the mountain and get him some medical care.
Well, you hear these people who are trying to pet the bear, feed the bear. In this case, it sounds like he just made eye contact, and that was what did it.
Well, being within proximity of a cub is what did it, I'm sure. That's
Mama
scary.
bear's very protective.
Yep.
What day of the week would you say? Is there, I guess I should phrase it this way, is there a particular day of the week that you tend to mow the lawn?
No, whenever it's not raining and, not 900 degrees outside is what I'm shooting for.
So during the week or during the weekend, typically?
I try to do it through the week if I can.
Okay, well, then you're in good company. Well, it says the government, this poll shows that 11.5% of Americans do yard work on weekends instead of enjoying their time off. So there's this movement called the Thursday Night Mowing League, and it's trying to get people to stop wasting their weekends on their lawns. So they're trying to convince people that instead you should do your mowing on Thursdays.
Okay. Is it like a bowling league? Is there beer involved afterwards? Or
I don't think that there's actually
There's always
beer
beer
involved
after mowing.
But anyway, I guess I didn't realize it was such a thing where people are mowing on the weekends, but I get it. I mean, you work all day, you're tired, and you want to eat dinner. If you've got young kids, you're doing stuff with that, or older kids, you're rushing them off to sports and activities. And so to try to find that time during the week, it's tough. But then I also understand where you don't want to waste time that you could be spending with the family out there mowing and sweating like a pig.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, mower person day is coming up.
The what?
Mower person day is coming up. It's Father's Day.
I was like, where are we going with this?
Yeah,
okay, got
that
it.
confused me.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Is that a Mark joke?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, I just saw it the other day. Sorry. By the way, I'll leave that alone. Did you see this awful story where the kid at McDonald's got attacked by his coworker, and the guy threw hot oil at him, like out of the fryer from the French fries or something? It's horrendous. The kid has been in the ICU for more than a week. His name is Jacob Smith. He was working at a McDonald's in Yuba City, California, and they finally arrested the guy later. The guy that did it, Jelani Blewett is his name, who was accused of doing it. This guy's got third-degree burns on his face. It's affected part of his scalp. And now they've got, of course, they're working on an online fundraiser because the guy worked part-time at McDonald's. So I don't even know if he had health insurance.
Yikes.
Wow.
Diane Keaton, I really loved her in Father of the Bride. Oh, my gosh. She was just so fantastic. She was an interesting person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But a fantastic actress. Anyway, as you know, she passed away last year at the age of 79. And now a lot of her items are up for sale. You can buy her clothing. You can buy her purses. You actually can buy the Annie Hall script, it says.
Huh.
It said it sold for, is this right? $394,000.
Wow.
But anyway, I mean, there's coats. Like, for example, I'm looking at a coat that she wore. It says a custom Ralph Lauren ensemble worn to the 92nd Annual Academy Awards. Sold for $40,000.
Just getting rid of her estate, huh? Is that it?
I guess so, yeah. Auction started yesterday.
There you go. There's your chance. All right, coming up, we'll get to our friend Todd Piro. I'm sure he's got some thoughts on the president being at the Knicks game last night and why in the world, for some people, that was a controversy. I don't know. Of course, 2A Tuesday at 7:35 as well. We'll be right back.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
Man, I was thankful for the solid windows down here at the building yesterday when that rain was whipping against them. Whatever weather throws at you, your house has got to be prepared. And if it's time to replace the windows because they've gotten old, they're not energy efficient anymore. The seals shrink up with the age after a while. If you need one window replaced or all of them, I'm going to recommend you let Window World be part of that process and at least get a bid from them. Here's their phone number. Call them at 800-GET-WINDOWS, 1-800-GET-WINDOWS. That's going to be a great phone call for you because you're going to get someone out there who's not a high-pressure salesperson. That's not what they do at Window World. They're going to show you their great product, and then they're going to let you decide. And they'd be happy to work with you because it is simply the best for less, the preferred window of our St. Louis Blues. Call them at 1-800-GET-WINDOWS or go to windowworldstlouis.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
The main event. I'm Chris Foster of Fox News. Today's Senate primary in Maine is the most closely watched nationally of the races in 4 states. Democrats there deciding how much they care about controversies attached to oyster farmer and Army combat veteran Graham Plattner.
The latest rough headline comes via Plattner's former political director. Genevieve McDonald writes, Graham Plattner is not someone who would be good for Maine or for the country. He exhibits a pattern of dishonest behavior that is impossible to ignore. Plattner has said the claims are politically motivated as fellow progressives back his run. The winning Democrat will face longtime Republican Senator Susan Collins, lesser-known candidate David Costello, and the state's governor Janet Mills are also on the ballot. Plattner has pulled far ahead, but the voters decide today.
It's Fox's Molly Line. In Portland, Maine, Trump-endorsed North Dakota House Republican Julie Fedorchak faces a primary challenge from state party-endorsed Alex Balazs.
Anti-establishment Republicans also challenging Lindsey Graham in the U.S. Senate in South Carolina, where President Trump has also backed current Lieutenant Governor Pamela Yvette. In Nevada, polling shows Republican Governor Joe Lombardo expected to ward off primary challengers as Democrats also choose between several candidates to score the party's nomination. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
The Los Angeles mayor's race is set. It'll be incumbent Karen Bass against another Democrat.
Progressive City Council member Nithya Raman will advance, and that means that former reality TV star Spencer Pratt is out. Voters are also waiting on the results of the Golden State's governor's race. Former State Attorney General Javier Becerra is in the lead. 2 candidates will emerge in the race. Republican Steve Hilton and Democrat Tom Steyer still in the running.
Fox's Alex Hogan. 2 crew members are rescued after an Army helicopter crash near the coast of Oman. U.S. Central Command says the cause of the crash is under investigation. President Trump tells reporters the crew members are fine, and a report on the crash will be issued today. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's the tale of the daily Medfill. Same old pharmacy, same old bill, but those prices kept rising higher still.
Till the savings wrangler rode in, cool as can be. Tap Good RX, saving massively.
No plan? Don't matter none. Up to 80% off. The deals are done.
Discounts hitting harder than Ma's chili. Dang. That one little app does all the rest.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Check Good RX. Good RX is not insurance.
So Ryan and I came to the decision to get life insurance when I was pregnant with our first son. He really wanted us to be taken care of if something happened to him. He provided for our family in life and also after his death. I think that would make him proud. Ethos makes it fast and easy to get life insurance. Apply in minutes and get same-day coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions require.
Good morning. Hope you're having a great start to your morning. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. It is 78 degrees now, but I'm telling you, it feels hotter. It is just so humid out there. So heads up if you're leaving the house now at 7:03. Here's what's making headlines across the St. Louis area on this Tuesday, June 9th. The Missouri Supreme Court has struck down an effort to change the ballot language about state income taxes. This comes after the Western District Court of Appeals ruled that the ballot language didn't clearly state what the amendment would do. Missourians will still be voting on whether to eliminate state income taxes in August. A 6-7 event in Shrewsbury quickly got out of control and led to more than 300 teens fighting in a parking lot. Police say Sky Zone on Watson Road was hosting the 6-7 event Sunday afternoon. Investigators say the teens eventually ran into nearby stores, caused damage, and threatened customers and employees, forcing some of those stores to close early. Police eventually confiscated a butcher knife from a 12-year-old girl who says she took an Uber from Florissant to get into a fight after seeing it on social media. Several teens were taken into custody. St. Charles County is considering a short-term ban on new apartment buildings. The proposed 6-month ban would apply to unincorporated areas. The county council has only approved construction of one apartment complex in 20 years for unincorporated St. Charles County. The council is expected to vote on that moratorium later on this month. In sports, Cards on the road facing the Mets tonight. First pitch coming up at 6:10. And you may have seen the video. President Trump attended Game 3 of the NBA Finals last night. Spurs beat the Knicks 115-111. Knicks, by the way, leading that series 2-1. And Game 4 of the Stanley Cup tonight at 7 o'clock. Golden Knights have a 2-1 lead in that series over the Hurricanes. Coming up on 7:05, 78 degrees and humid. I'm Kim St. for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, if you're just headed out eastbound 70, a little slow at Wing Haven this morning. And eastbound 64, a little slow at Wing Haven this morning, and then it opens up. 70 looks pretty good, Wright City into downtown. There was some volume and an accident reported. Southbound 270 approaching 370. There's a little bit of a slowdown there. The biggest delays are on the Illinois side. We've got road work with lane closures. Westbound 5564 near 3rd Street, and that has caused a jam back onto 64 and 5570 to Exchange. Now, the bridges themselves are still looking good. And if you have to sit in that jam, the Stan Musial Veterans Memorial Bridge might be a better option, or the King Bridge, than waiting for the Poplar Street Bridge. This report is brought to you by McKelvey Homes. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Looking for a mix of clouds and sunshine on this Tuesday with more in the way of sun for the afternoon, but still a chance for some spotty showers and thunder showers around. Nothing like yesterday. Very humid. 92, kind of hot too. Tonight, clear, warm, very humid. 76 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny, hot, and humid. Nothing more than a pop thunderstorm. Wednesday will be the hottest of the week. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
78 degrees, and it's the air you can wear this morning. On this Tuesday, it is 7:07. You can take the Marc Cox Morning Show with you wherever you go by downloading our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the show. We're happy to have you here with us, and it is a Tuesday morning, the 9th day of June. It is going to be a heater out there, apparently, a chance of some storms later in the day. We'll keep an eye on that for you. Sue's got all your traffic coming up shortly. You're listening to the Marc Cox Morning Show. That would be me. Kim St. Onge is back after a few days off. Good to have her back in the house.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Ethan holding down the fort over there on the board this morning. If you're watching on the social media, we appreciate that. We've of course, we're on here, the Window World webcam, Simply the Best for Less. They allow us to broadcast out onto Facebook and X and Rumble and Twitter. I said X already, didn't I? How about YouTube? That's what I meant
There you
to say.
go.
Yeah. Whatever.
No one will ever get used to it being called X.
I can't.
And it's funny, too. So I heard someone talking about this, saying my ex, like my ex account. But if you just say my ex, well, you have to provide context for that then, because the statement could go other ways.
That's true. Even if you don't have one, they could be wondering what you were talking about. You're breaking news to them. So whatever that happens to be careful about that. But we're happy you're with us. You can go also download the podcast if you miss anything. And we, of course, make that available to you at Spotify or wherever you download your podcast. You can go to the Odyssey app, odyssey.com. You can take us with you whenever you travel, wherever you're going. We try to make that just as simple as possible for you. By the way, shout out to my friends over at Villa Hills, the fire department. I was over there yesterday for our Feed Our First Responders. We were able to honor the Lieutenant Jacob Stell, who's been with the volunteer fire department over in Villa Hills for 11 years now. He just got promoted to lieutenant. His chief, Steve Allen, is the one that nominated him, and we were happy to have Grillmaster Tony go over there. Grillmastertony.com. Tony Stone delivered pulled pork and potato salad and all the sides and the bread from the Hill, Pete's Bakery on the Hill. It was outstanding. Tony does that all the time. And what a great guy. I just got to tell you, if you need catering for any reason, please consider grillmastertony.com, because he does all of that out of the goodness of his heart.
And it's just phenomenal food.
Yes, it is. As I'm sure the folks at Villa Hills would affirm for you after getting to eat that stuff last night. So we thank them for all they do. And we are always taking nominations, by the way. If you've got a first responder that is important in your life, has done something, or you work with one that you think deserves to be recognized, send in your nominations to 971talk.com/contests. On our website, you'll see the link up there, and you can nominate your winner. And we pick a winner each month, and we deliver food to them, and we love doing it. It's always they're always appreciative, and we are appreciative of what they do for our communities, for sure. All right, coming up, we're going to get to 2A Tuesday, and I'll tell you why, because they're talking the Second Amendment again down in Texas. Imagine that. It's time for a Senate race, and there are discussions down there about a little bit of a flip-flop on the part of one of their candidates, so we'll get to that for you still ahead. We got Todd Piro. We got Ryan Wiggins. All of it is still coming up on the Marc Cox Morning Show. Right now, though, Ethan, let's get to our top stories, please.
The Marc Cox Shortlist, presented by Rhino Shield.
I got to say, if you were making a list of 1,000 adjectives to describe this guy, masculine would not be one of them.
Ted Cruz on this James Tallarico down in Texas, the one that's going to be running apparently against Ken Paxton, who won the primary down there. This is a guy that thinks God is non-binary. He's got all kinds of strange opinions, including when it comes to your right to keep and bear arms. We're going to talk about that at the bottom of the hour.
And they asked if I would be in it. I said yes. And I told them, don't expect me to be just saying, hagiography about Charlie. I liked him as a person. I'm glad I talked to him. I do not think he was a monster.
Yeah, Bill Maher there. Probably one of the only really, truly honest liberals in America, I got to say. He and I would not agree on most issues, I don't think, but at least he has a common sense approach when it comes to a lot of these issues, including the awful murder of Charlie Kirk.
We have a right to bear arms to protect ourselves, our families. We have a right to own weapons for sport or for hunting. But like any freedom in the Bill of Rights, it's not absolute.
Woo, there he is. There's that Tallarico guy that Ted Cruz was talking about. We'll kick that around with Mark Walters at 7:35.
So as we start Pride Month today, I ask every single person, ally and LGBTQ plus alike, to stand together. Because when we do, we're protecting the rights of all LGBTQ plus Missourians. When we pick up the brick for each other, we fight for a future we all deserve.
There you go. How about that? From the mayor's office in the beautiful City Hall in downtown St. Louis, Mayor Spencer was standing behind that dude. I don't even know his name. I'm sorry for assuming his gender, I guess. Should I apologize for that?
Yeah, I guess that's true. You
Did
didn't
I
ask if he
misgender
goes
him?
by he, him, or she.
Don't know.
It, they,
whatever. A call to violence. In the mayor's office yesterday, a call to violence. Now, all the liberals on Donnybrook were mad that Eric Schmidt called out the Kirkwood School Board president last week, Kim, for 8647 comments she made about the president. So Eric Schmidt called her out, and instead of going down and asking her, why did you say this, all of the local media blamed Eric Schmidt for accusing her of assassinating the president. Somehow it was Eric Schmidt's fault that she used the 8647 term, and they all wanted to get into a public dispute over what 86 means. Well, most people understand what it means. The people that want to defend your desire to have the president killed, you have a different interpretation of it. I don't know why, because you think you ought to be able to get away with saying that in America. But in this case, what this guy said is very clear. There were riots in San Francisco back in the 60s, and the pick up a brick thing was to encourage people to pick up a brick and throw it at the police. So from the peace and tolerance and kumbaya, let's all get along crowd, why are they in the St. Louis mayor's office talking about picking up bricks and throwing them at police for Pride Month?
I wish someone would have asked him as a follow-up question, what do you mean by that?
Nobody asked that question, and they should have. And that's a shame. There was nobody over there at City Hall that said, are you encouraging people to commit violence against St. Louis police officers? I mean, they got their little parade coming up here at the end of the month some point.
Well, they already had their big event. They had that, I think, over the weekend.
This past weekend?
I think they had one.
I thought it was coming up at the end of the
month. Well, I
month.
know there is a big event, but I thought for some reason they already had one, too. I don't know. I've lost track.
Well, I'll be avoiding downtown that day.
Well, I was pleased to go into Target the other day, and they didn't have it right smack dab. In fact, I was walking around even in the back of the store, and I didn't see a designated section. Now, I didn't walk the whole perimeter of the store, so some of you listening might say, well, there is a Pride section. Maybe there is. But let's remember a year or two ago when it was right in your face as you walked in, they had those tuck swimsuits. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And hopefully they've learned their lesson. Now, I will tell you, do you know the company HelloFresh?
I do.
Okay.
I saw this.
It's like a meal subscription. Did you guys talk about it?
No.
Okay. It's a meal subscription service, and they put something up there on Instagram. It was very suggestive.
Do you use HelloFresh?
No,
no. And
no.
Would you ever use it now?
No, and I wonder how many people canceled the service after reading this, if they even really understood what they were talking about. I will basically say it was talking about. How would you describe this, Mark?
It's not a bad thing.
Wait, whoa! What's not a bad thing?
No. I think it's something we can say on the radio. I don't think it's any. I don't think it's anything
I'll
you have to
read
avoid.
It. Okay, but not everyone will understand what this means. But you can look it up. This is the post. We know eating isn't always a top priority this month. We respect that.
It isn't?
But for those of you who are ... prepping ... we have an extensive lineup of high fiber recipes available. Happy Pride.
From HelloFresh. And then they gave you a discount code if you wanted to use it to buy HelloFresh.
Code I'm gay.
Code bottoms up.
No, it was not.
Yes, it was. It's right here.
No,
right here.
I did not see that.
Yes,
you have got to be kidding me. Are you so stupid, HelloFresh?
A discount code for that particular food.
The shovel, HelloFresh. Why are these companies so
It's unbelievable.
stupid? Why are you not learning from Budweiser? Why are you not learning from Target? This is stupid. Who was behind that and thought
maybe
this is
they
a really
know
good
something
post?
we don't about who their audience is.
Oh,
I don't
my gosh.
know, but that's
Wow.
what they did. Yeah. All right. Coming up, we'll talk more about the Knicks with Todd Piro, who happens to live in New York and knows a thing or two about sports, he claims. We'll be right back.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, it's not been too bad, but a couple of issues. One, an accident eastbound 44 approaching Highway 100. Well, they say it's on the left shoulder now. There's a little bit of a delay behind it. Northbound 270, some moderate volume at Gravois, and again at the Clayton Road overpass. Eastbound 44 slowing at Winghaven before it opens up. Accident southbound 270 approaching 370, and that's caused a jam behind it. And the rest is on the Illinois side. Road work westbound 5564 near 3rd Street, causing a pretty good jam behind it. This report is brought to you by Missouri Brush Control. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Missouri Brush Control is helping landowners reclaim their property, manage vegetation, and clear land for better views. Enjoy your land the way you've always dreamed of. Missouri Brush Control, making acreage great again. Visit MissouriBrushControl.com.
Well, you have a great opportunity coming up to just hang out with me and Annie Fry and Mark Reardon and the folks at the Retirement Advisory Group. It's going to be Tuesday, June 16th. We're going to get together again at the Doubletree Hilton in Chesterfield at 6:30, and it's just sort of like a meet and greet. It's kind of cool. Kind of hang out. Everybody who fills the room up for these events are all 97.1 listeners, so we've all got a lot in common. And if retirement is what you have about to come up in your life, there are conversations you need to be having. Probably that you haven't had with your Wall Street-based brokerage firm who's only going to be making money off of you if your money stays invested in Wall Street. What Bob and Tammy Kershaw are going to talk to you about are ways you can take advantage of the upside in the market without the risk if the market drops 30 or 40% just as you're ready to retire. Nobody's got time for that. You need to know how to protect that nest egg. So reach out to them. Listen, this thing is free. All they want is a head count, so they have enough chairs and enough cookies. Call them at 314-993-9494 or go to retirementkey.com and meet us on Tuesday, June 16th at the Doubletree in Chesterfield at 6:30.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call us now. $30 billion was set aside for meso victims, and in most cases, your claim is settled out of court without a jury trial. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
The time now is 7:21. This time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. Our YouTube chat room is growing. It's getting bigger, but it could always be a little bit bigger if you guys just help us out. Make sure you click that subscribe button, ring the bell so the algorithm will pick up new members for us.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Smartest man alive! I'm pretty sure there's a lot more to life than being really, really good looking.
He's all right, I suppose, if you like dark, handsome, rich-looking men with passionate natures and too many teeth.
Well, he's young and he's handsome. He's a real gentleman. You know, not one of these grabbers.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Todd Piro, that is the greatest intro I've ever heard Ethan produce. Can I just tell you that?
And nobody can quit me. I'm like herpes. You can't get rid of me.
Hey, buddy, I assume because of your hours and my hours, attending an NBA Finals game was not in your plans last night, right?
No, look, people have been asking, did you watch? Did you go? Here's the deal. I'm going to summarize this as easily as possible, okay?
You got to sleep.
I don't watch any of the big events, sports or otherwise. So if there's like a major debate, State of the Union, I sleep. What I do for those is I listen to it on the replay on my way into work, because in those kind of big tentpole events, that's going to be the only story, so I can catch up in the car, okay? When it comes to sports, there is a small list that I would stay up for. Let's go with football. It would have to be a playoff game / Super Bowl / a game that my team had to win.
Right.
So that's the Giants. With hockey and baseball, it sort of has to be like this is the clinching game for maybe getting to the finals or the World Series or the game where they would otherwise win that World Series.
So what you're saying is, as a football fan, you're at no risk of having to stay up late and watch a game.
How's your team, St. Louis?
I was waiting
Shots
for that.
fired over
I
there,
was
Todd.
waiting for that. I was waiting. I deserve that. That's okay.
I think we're going to be pretty decent this year. Are we going to, go 17-0? No. But I think we're going to be pretty damn good this year. So I'll leave it there.
Jackson throwing darts and introducing the president. I mean, I think you're on a roll.
Well, by the way, did you think the president was booed or cheered for?
Yeah, he was booed. I mean, we have to call it what it is. But I thought I asked a really good question to Joe Concha, again, because I'm really ridiculously good looking and I'm very smart. And all the stuff you said in your intro. But, have we thought maybe if the working man who voted Trump into office was actually allowed to attend the game and not priced out of the game, that, I don't know, maybe he would have gotten cheers like he does at all the other events where it's working men and women.
Also, where he was in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair.
You put him in Texas. You put him in Texas.
Really
you put him in Missouri, a state like that, or Florida. You'd probably have a different outcome.
You guaranteed it. You put him in Florida, he would levitate out of the stadium.
Do you think Spike Lee would have said the president shouldn't be there if it was Barack Obama?
No.
No, he wouldn't have. I mean, clearly those people that didn't think he should be there, the big celebrity types, it's because they don't like Donald Trump.
Why do they care? Why should someone not be there to cheer on, just to watch a game? I don't even understand the argument someone would have to say you don't belong there. Who cares?
Yeah.
Let him go to a game. I don't even care if he likes the team's playing. Just let him go.
The worst argument was from Hakeem Jeffries. Did you play that yesterday?
I heard it. I did. I have not played it, where he said he's not even sure if he's a Knicks fan. Is that the one?
Yeah, and he's like, he doesn't know Carl Anthony Town from Karl Rove. And then Karl Rove did a social media post where he dressed up in a Knicks outfit, which is pretty funny. And then people have found clips where, earlier in the year, he's like, yeah, that Carl Anthony Towns, what a player, one of those things. So, just completely disproving. Also, why are you wearing a pink Knicks hat? It's not Breast Cancer Awareness Month or day. I understand if you wear it on Mother's Day, great. They use the pink bats on Mother's Day and all that. You can't be wearing a pink Knicks hat in June.
Is it Pride Month? Was he doing it for Pride Month, maybe?
Great point. Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
I saw where the Dodgers had Pride Night hats the other day, didn't they? With a little rainbow through the L.A. on the front of their hats. Not everybody wore them, but a lot of them wore them.
Along those lines, my girls told me that but some of their friends attended a rainbow parade. And I had to...
what is that?
I went to my wife. What is that? She goes, you know what it is. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
But where? Was it like a school thing?
No. Some of they had rainbow parades in throughout the various towns, and
interesting.
Cool.
Right.
It's good to know. I don't have an opinion one way or another, but it's just good to know.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah. I got to ask here on a serious note real quick about this Plattner thing. So that is happening today, right? Their primary up in Maine? Or
You're asking you don't know. That
it is today. The primary is today, right?
What if I was just like, no, they moved it to tomorrow?
Okay, well, it's possible.
What would you?
You live closer to all this than I do. So
okay, you know what you just did? You're like, okay, it's as if I said something like, well, Mark, you're in St. Louis, so there's something happening in Minnesota.
You're closer.
You live near there, right? No, it's happening today. I don't know what more you want me to say. He's going to win. I had a guest on today, and we kind of went over the margin. Pay attention to the margin, because that could be telling. Are there protest votes? How does Janet Mills do? She's on the ballot, but she's suspended her campaign. Just watch out for that.
Yeah, I wonder if she's regretting that right about now. You'd have to ask yourself. No doubt about that. All right, Todd. Well, we appreciate you, my friend. Thank you.
And go Rams.
Yeah, go. All right. I'll see. I deserve that. I deserve that for joking about his ne'er-do-well Giants. Well, they've done well, but it's been a long time.
Our Rams, man, we just never are going to live that down. Wow. Will St. Louisans ever not be bitter about that?
No way. They were bitter about the Cardinals for years, leaving and going to Arizona. And now the Rams, too, left at the altar twice. I don't think we even want to go there again. We're just going to be widows for the rest of our lives. We're just not going to do it. That's just the way that's going to go down. No mas. Gracias. All right, coming up, we'll get to our friend Mark Walters. It is 2A Tuesday. What is James Tallarico trying to pull down in Texas? We'll be right back.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Your home deserves siding that's as tough as it is beautiful. At Lakeside Renovation and Design, we installed James Hardy siding, built to handle everything the St. Louis weather throws its way, rain, snow, or summer heat. Not only does it look amazing, but it also protects your home with long-lasting durability and low maintenance. Plus, with our expert team, you'll love the seamless installation process. Ready to give your home a stunning upgrade? Call Lakeside Renovation and Design today or visit lakesiderd.com. Protect your home with the siding that's built to last.
Listen up. If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Story, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Story Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Well, if you're just headed out, we do have some of the usual volume, and that would be northbound 270 in pockets between 55 and Ladue Road. We've got, eastbound traffic on 64 with some moderate volume out west. It's mainly approaching Wing Haven to a point east of there, then it opens up and slows again at 170. Eastbound 70, a little slow at Highway A before it opens up. We had an accident occur on southbound 270 approaching 370, so some volume through there. 55 looks great, but on the Illinois side, road work and lane closures westbound 5570 near 3rd Street are causing delays on both 64 and 5570, which is now back really close to 203. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Time to talk about the fact that we might get a little more rain today because of all this humidity and heat we got coming in here. Listen, whatever you got going on with the foundation of your home, if your basement gets wet when it rains, I've got the answer for you. The answer is Home Shield Foundation Repairs and Matt Hayes, who runs the company. It's a local family-owned company. Matt is he's a foundation expert, a foundation specialist with 20 years in the business. He's not a foundation sales guy. He tells me some horror stories about people in town who will come over and try to give you the high-pressure sales pitch and say, well, you know, we can do this, but if you really want to protect your basement, you need this bigger waterproofing package, and we're going to do all this for you. He doesn't do any of that. He doesn't do the upsell thing. He's going to fix your problem and move on to the next job. So that's his guarantee to you, 314-271-9900, and he'll give you a lifetime warranty when he's done. What else can you say? If you have foundation issues where your foundation has been shifting or you've got bowing or cracking walls like that, leaning walls, that's a serious situation. You got to get it addressed. Get Matt in there. Let him look at it again. When he's done, you get a lifetime warranty on the work. It is 314-271-9900. Tell him Mark sent you. Tell him Mark referred you. Go online to HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com.
Michael McGreevy. Escape to Margaritaville night at Busch Stadium on Friday, June 26th. Celebrate the legacy of Jimmy Buffett with a special pregame performance by the Boat Drunks. With a special theme ticket, you'll receive a Margaritaville-inspired Cardinals cap. Plus, a portion of each ticket benefits Singing for Change. Kick back, relax, and enjoy a night where it's 5 o'clock somewhere, even at 7:15 first pitch. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
This is Jordan Walker. Celebrate Black Heritage Day, presented by your quality Ford dealers on Sunday, June 28th at Busch Stadium. This special culture and community event honors the impact, history, and legacy of the Black community in baseball and beyond. With a special themed ticket, you'll receive an exclusive Cardinals jersey designed by Corey Rogers. And don't miss a special heritage celebration in Budweiser Terrace before the game. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
From Ellisville to Glen Carbon, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
I am a believer in the Second Amendment. I don't pick and choose between the Bill of Rights. I believe in the Second Amendment just as much as I believe in the First. We have a right to bear arms to protect ourselves, our families. We have a right to own weapons for sport or for hunting. But like any freedom in the Bill of Rights, it's not absolute.
If you ban them in the future, the bullets will have been shot and there won't be any more available.
So you don't shoot deer with a bullet that size. If you do, you could cook it at the same time.
Put that double-barrel shotgun and fire 2 blasts outside the house.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Mark Walters, our guest this morning, host of Armed American Radio, and of course, Armed American Radio's Daily Defense, spokesman for the Second Amendment Foundation. I'm sure, Mark, you've heard that James Tallarico bite already, haven't you?
Nauseating, but, you guys, first off, thanks for having me, Mark. Great to talk with you, Kim, and good morning, St. Louis. I made a rule in my house a long time ago, personally for me. I'm no longer going to wake up and flip on, quote-unquote, the news. I'm going to enjoy my cup of blackout coffee, chill out, and watch something funny and not start my day stressed. Well, you're breaking that rule today, and I am all over it, so let's do it.
All right, that's okay. I don't want to stress you out too much, but, this guy has been compared to Beto O'Rourke. Everybody knows that guy.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47.
So clearly James Tallarico has decided he's got to come back to somewhere what he believes is the center on the gun issue if he's going to get elected in Texas.
Well, A.W.R. Hawkins from Breitbart News is a regular guest on my show over the last 15-plus years. And he's got a little catchphrase that he's used on my show for years when we talk about happy ending stories in Texas, and a happy ending story being a good guy using a gun to save themselves. And his catchphrase has become, if you're going to be dumb, don't be dumb in Texas. Well, apparently this clown hasn't figured it out. Maybe he wants to sit down and talk to Beto O'Rourke and say, so tell me how that worked out for you, right? Now, when he said we have a right to own weapons for sport or hunting, but like any freedom in the Bill of Rights, it's not absolute. You need a permit, he said, if you want to protest. I guess, I don't know, maybe we should file a FOIA request and find out how many permits all the Democrats had when they burned down our cities.
Yeah.
So we could go on and on. But there's something I want to point out, because as you know, Joe Biden famously said this too, and it didn't work out well for him. Let's take the 13th Amendment, and I want to read a part of that to you, because the 13th Amendment abolishes slavery in the United States. Remember, they're not absolute, folks. Hear what James Tallarico is saying. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Unless you're Mexican. Do we add that to it?
Yes,
because it's certainly not absolute. James Tallarico is an idiot. And you just have to wonder what goes through a guy's mind like this. And I do want to point out, by the way, regarding the First Amendment, when he says you need a permit, I want to remind you, the First Amendment does not mention a need for a permit. Rather, the amendment says this: Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people to peaceably assemble. Mark, you and I could fly up there right now and we could hold a big sign up that says James Tallarico's an idiot and go stand out on the corner of Market and Broad all day long with no permit. He's a moron.
Yeah. No, he is. I thank you for pointing that out. That is a beautiful excuse, because what a lot of them will say is, well, you can't scream fire in a crowded theater. So there are limits on your First Amendment rights. That's the excuse they're going to use. But when you phrase it that way, like what would you do with the 13th Amendment, then it hits home to people. You can't massage it like that. It's very clear what it says, and I'm so sick and tired of waiting for the United States Supreme Court to come back and smack down some of these towns, like with the Glock bans and some of the other nonsense they got going on. They've got to do that soon.
They will, and the sad part about that, two answers to that I'll throw at you. Number one, the Supreme Court is going to do that. The sad part is, had they taken that Fourth Amendment case we talked about, that Fourth Circuit case that we talked about, the Snopes case, Virginia wouldn't be in the situation they're in, the Glock bans wouldn't be happening, and we would have been getting a decision on that case right now this month, but they didn't take it, so it's likely going to be next year. Kavanaugh has signaled that they will, and they no doubt will, and we will win on that issue. So there is absolutely no question about that's going to occur. But as far as the other part of it, when you talk about no right being absolute, you've got to make it very clear what shall not be infringed means. So this is just the way the Democrats think that I guess he's trying to appease a base. When you listen to him talk, he didn't sound real sure of himself. So what did he do? He resorted back to what Biden said. And, well, it's not going to age well for him, because Tallarico, if you're going to be dumb, brother, don't be dumb in Texas.
Well,
we're glad you are.
And he's a wolf in sheep's clothing, and that's the problem with a lot of these Democrats, is where they win the primary, and then when it goes to the general, then all of a sudden, like you said, Mark, they're starting to kind of go a little bit more center, and they fool and they fool some people into thinking, oh yeah, he won't do this or he won't do that. Well, guess what? He's lying. He's just saying whatever he needs to say to get into office, and then he's going to resort back to what he really thinks, which is take away everyone's guns. That's what he's going to advocate for.
Well, yeah, and Kim, let's add something to that as well. When he mentioned the fact that you need a permit, Texas is a permitless carry state. What's he going to do? Try to bring permits back to constitutional carry state in Texas? I mean, this guy's he's just a clown. He gets up in the morning, he puts his big red nose on, and he puts his big floppy shoes on, and he goes out there and he makes a fool of himself all day long. And the more he does it, the smarter we become. So keep it up.
Yeah, here's what Ted Cruz said about him yesterday.
I got to say, if you were making a list of 1,000 adjectives to describe this guy, masculine would not be one of them. I mean, this guy, if a stiff breeze came by, it would blow him over like a feather. This is also a guy who his campaign, he ran a vegan no meat campaign because meat is destroying the world. He's opposed to oil and gas. This is the Democrat Party, and they will vote.
Yeah, he's right about that. I mean, whether it's our fine folks from Chicago. Yesterday I had a chance, Mark, to go over and hang out with some volunteer firefighters here in Illinois in Villa Hills, and these folks volunteer their time to protect their community. I mean, salt of the earth folks, and many of them very conservative, and I feel for them because I live in Missouri, where I have the freedom to carry my gun and can still carry, open carry, otherwise whatever I choose to do with it. And over there, they can't walk in and buy a semi-automatic sporting rifle because the United States Supreme Court right now does not recognize that the state of Illinois is stepping on their neck.
Yeah, they will, and that will happen. Again, it's going to be an all-encompassing decision. And I want to frame it this way, too, kind of. You talk about the Glock bans, Mark. How have the Democrats, as they've imposed these new laws in now 3 states, Maryland, New York, and California, Illinois now, we're talking about, is working on this as well through legislation. But how are they framing this? They're framing the Glock pistol as an assault pistol, machine gun convertible. So when they frame it as an assault pistol, guess what happens when the Supreme Court rules that quote-unquote assault weapons, their choice of words, ladies and gentlemen, not mine, are in fact in common use. There go the Glock bans in one fell swoop as well. These are not the brightest bulbs in the knife drawer, so let's just let them talk because it's really fun to watch. And I will say this too, meat, oil, and gas. Yeah, Texans don't have any stake in those industries, do they? Steak, I say that for fun because I love my steak from Texas cattle while I'm filling up my car with premium and leaving the biggest carbon footprint I can right in his face.
I guess you won't be getting an award for the least carbon footprint or whatever. What was like the Duchess? Well, you know what I'm talking about? How stupid that was that they got some award in California all those years ago. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Not William and Kate. Who am I thinking of? The other one who people can't stand.
Oh, Prince, what's his face over there?
Oh my gosh! Harry and what's her face? They got some stupid Meghan and thank you, Meghan and Harry.
See, they're just so far out of my mind.
Right? But they got some award for like leaving the least carbon footprint as they take their private jet all over the world. Yeah, that's so stupid.
Not to England too often anymore. I don't think they're welcome over there. They wore out their welcome.
They love their carbon footprint, their jets, and their guns. They just don't like ours. Hey, James Tallarico, if you're going to be dumb, don't be dumb and fix it. That's not going to age well for you.
It's a good point. Hey, congratulations, by the way, for Armed American Radio and Mark Walters. In the Talkers.com Heavy 100 this year, you got ranked number 87 out of Heavy 100 talk shows in the country. Thank you, and congratulations.
Well, as you know, I don't really pay much attention to that. I know every talk radio host in the country wakes up about this time of year waiting to see will my name ever appear on that list. And to be on that list anywhere is significant, and it's extremely humbling. I don't care what number it is. I'm just absolutely proud to be recognized by your own industry. It is a wonderful feeling. There's no question about it. But I have to say this, none of it could be done without our fans and our sponsors that make it all possible. And I'm looking forward to the next 18 years on that list or not. But it is the second year running, and I'm really humbled by it. So
awesome.
Thank you for recognizing that.
Keep up the great work. Remind people where they can listen, Mark, please.
Yes, armedamericanradio.com, Mondays through Fridays, 3 to 4 Central, and Sundays from 7 to 10, man. Love you, Mark. Love you, Kim, and love you, St. Louis. Have fun.
Outstanding. We'll talk soon. There he is, Mark Walters with Armed American Radio. He's great. If you're going to be dumb, don't be dumb in Texas. That's true. Hopefully the voters in Texas realize what a shyster this guy is.
A shyster is a good way to describe him.
All hat, no cowboy. That's basically
he loves
what
his
you got
mate
down there. I guess so. What are we talking about today in Kim on a Whim?
Man, okay, I know I'm not alone when I say I'm so tired of being asked to tip every single place I go. And Americans might finally be snapping over how often we're asked to tip and how much we're asked to tip. Plus, they're revealing the trick that they are refusing to fall for.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, the worst of it is on the Illinois side, where we've got road work on westbound 5564 at 3rd Street and lane closures causing delays. 64 is back past 25th Street, and then we had a report of an accident near there. Not a lot of fun. At 5570 itself is back near 203. We've got Route 3 slowing at Monsanto Avenue, too, due to a slow-moving train. Now, on the Missouri side, southbound 61, some slow pockets headed for 64, which is slowing at Wing Haven, and then in pockets from Clarkson through Big Bend. And westbound is lined up, pretty much approaching Clayton Skinker through 170, which is also slowing from about the Forest Park Parkway on down, but it's just moderate volume. And that's what we have on northbound 270. Moderate volume between 21 and Ladue Road. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
Zero Res has got a fantastic deal going on this month, the month of June. They're going to get you taken care of. 3 rooms of carpeting cleaned, starting at $129. That's a great deal. If you need the air ducts done, they got another $100 off that. Just call them up. Let them explain what they do and why it is so unique. Because you some of these other carpet companies are there for one reason, to clean your carpets. They come in the traditional old method of soaking them, getting them soaking wet, and then trying to suck that water back up out of it. It leaves your carpeting, your pad, everything wet. It soaks up more dirt, attracts more dirt. After that, before it can dry out, your carpet's the biggest filter in your house. Don't do that to it. Zero Resify it. They can zero resify everything in your house, your hardwood, your tile, your area rugs, of course, your carpeting, and then you don't have to worry about it. It's safe for your pets. It is. They don't leave any residue behind. Let them explain why this is a superior way to clean your home. Call them at 314-474-2020. Tell them you want the 97.1 special. That is $129 for 3 rooms of carpet cleaned, and then $100 off your air duct cleaning. If you spell it backward and forward, it spells the same. It's Zero Res. That's ZeroResSTL.com.
97.1 FM Talk in action.
It's Marc Cox. Our friends at the USO Missouri are looking for volunteers. From Lambert Airport to Fort Leonard Wood, volunteers help provide comfort and support to those serving our country. Learn more at missouri.uso.org.
Today,
The Cards, the Mets.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:10. Play ball! Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
The home of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX.
How would you like a free estimate on a Generac home standby generator from Generator Supercenter of St. Louis, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer? Give yourself peace of mind now by calling for a free estimate. 314-499-2020 or GeneratorSuperCenterofStLouis.com.
License number GL250000615.
Hey, Dad, what causes drains to clog?
Grease, hair, soap scum, and tree roots.
Tree roots?
This town has old pipes and big trees. They find each other.
They grow inside pipes?
They bust into pipes.
Whoa.
Once they're in, the water stops flowing.
Can we fix it?
The big green grasser machine can fix any clog.
Green is always grasser at GrasserHomeServices.com.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
When you're hurt in a rideshare accident, whether you're the driver or the passenger, the questions come fast. Who's responsible? What's next? At Kaufman Townsley, we understand how complicated rideshare accidents can be. We know the insurance companies, and we know how to hold them accountable. We're local, we're experienced, and we'll fight until you get the justice you deserve. Kaufman Townsley. Real people, real results. Call 314-777-7777.
Call Point Pest Control, mention Annie, and get 10% off your pest problem. Once summertime hits, ant populations begin to reach peak numbers, maybe even into the millions. Call Point Pest Control before they invade your home. Call Point Pest Control 636-798-0023.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative. Kim on a whim.
It is getting so old, going everywhere. Even when you walk up to the kiosk and you put the order in yourself and you walk up with your little buzzer and pick up the food that you ordered, you're asked to tip.
Yes, you are.
It's so irritating.
And they're usually staring at you while you're looking at the screen trying to decide.
Oh, yeah.
There's
judgment.
That subtle pressure. And then some of them will look away and avert their eyes, but some of them are looking at you while you're deciding whether or not you're going to tip them for simply standing there doing their job. You're not even the person in the back who's actually putting the sandwich together, right? You're picking it up to go, or you know, whatever. I don't know. I'm thinking of Panera. They do that at Panera,
Oh,
don't they?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's going to ask you a little question. We all know what the question is, and then as soon as you have to flip it around, I want the screen to get away off of that because I'm usually going to hit no tip, and you can just see that they're looking to see what you hit.
What's their default? Doesn't it normally default to like 18% or something like that?
That's usually the lowest. When you go to Great Clips to get my kid's haircut, it's
Yeah.
like a $17, $18 haircut. And it will say something like, do you want a tip? And I believe it starts at 20% or 25% and goes up to about 45%. And I'm not exaggerating that. It's psychotic. It's almost embarrassing that they even think that they should get a 45 or whatever it is % tip. There was some new nationwide survey that found that 78% of Americans believe tipping culture has become ridiculous, and nearly half say that they have actively cut back on giving tips in 2026. They said, look, we're already paying more for a lot. Costs are up in some cases. Obviously, with Trump, they've started to kind of come down. But still, I mean, people are feeling squeezed, and they think it's stupid, and rightfully so, that they should be tipping on some of these services. And you're right. A lot of these companies, the trick that they're doing is maybe them asking for a tip isn't new, but the suggested percentage is just starting to creep up and up and up. And if you're not looking closely, if you were typically hitting, okay, I know I always hit the far left button because that was 10 or 15%, well, then all of a sudden that number is 20 or 25%. And they're maybe just hoping that you won't notice, or hoping you don't want to feel judged. And so I'll guarantee you that's why a lot of these companies do that, is because they do studies showing that when you're face to face with somebody, that under pressure, the majority of people will cave.
It's about to get worse.
What do you mean?
Better. Well, we had that story a couple of weeks ago, remember, with the World Cup coming and all the fans from Europe coming to the States. Many of these places are going to put automatic tips on their bills because they're afraid Europeans don't normally. They're not used to tipping.
Tip, yeah.
So they're afraid that they're going to get shorted by these folks coming in from out of town. So if you're going to Kansas City this summer, just understand anywhere you eat is probably going to have the tip is going to be automatic because they're afraid otherwise they won't get tipped. So it could get worse before it gets better.
I mean, that's why I don't ever do these delivery services where you're paying for the food, you're paying the delivery fee, then you're paying the tip, and you've basically doubled the cost of whatever item you're getting when everything is said and done.
Instacart or Uber Eats
anything
or
like that. It ends up being so expensive. You order a coffee, which I've never done on one of those services, but you order a coffee for like, what, $6 or $7, and then you end up spending $13 or whatever it is.
For a coffee?
Well, probably because of all the stupid charges that they tack on there.
My daughter would do that. She wanted one bad enough.
Oh, I guarantee you a lot of people would do it.
She texted me the other day. I'm driving home. Daddy, I want a coffee. And I'm like, no. You've got an espresso machine right there in the house. Make yourself a coffee. I'm not picking up a $7 coffee.
So did you stick to that?
No, I stopped.
He got it.
Oh my gosh, Mark!
Because she wanted the iced kind, and you couldn't get. I stopped at 7 Brew and spent $6.
Or that's why you get the text message, because she knows you'll do it. Ginger's probably listening. Ginger, I love you. This says I'm just poking fun.
She's marked me.
People with the tipping thing, if they don't, I don't know why businesses are not realizing that this is getting very old, and it's going to become counterintuitive, where people are going to say, I'm not going to tip at all. I'm so sick of being asked everywhere I go and feeling judged for it that I'm just not going to do anything out of principle. That's where I'm at. I'm all about the principle. If I have to walk up and order it myself and go pick up my food, what did you do? You hit a button? Congratulations, you're getting an hourly wage. Why am I tipping you for that?
That's a
whoop-de-doo.
Great question. It's a little different if it's a sit-down meal, but yeah, you're right. That is true. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. Next hour, our friend Ryan Wiggins is going to join us. Can't wait to hear from him. Our friends Bob and Tammy Kershaw coming in a little later as well. We'll be back in just a minute.
See website for details. BillsHappen.com is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to BillsHappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
BillsHappen.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
If your air conditioning system is just not cooling, you feel it's not cooling, go outside and also make sure the outside unit is running along with the inside unit. Those little black lines that are coming out of your house, see if they have ice on them. If you notice ice, check your filter. Make sure if your filter is dirty, it will make your system ice. Another thing to check is your breaker on the inside. If cleaning your filter and cleaning the outside and you check in your breaker still does not work, call me. You'll need me to come out. Sorry. But good thing, there's a really easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It is area code 314-293-2600. Again, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Men, need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
Data centers don't wait, and neither should your supply chain. From power and connectivity to racks and critical power, Graybar brings the products and the experience data centers need now. And with deep inventory and logistics expertise, we keep projects moving from first delivery to final install. With hundreds of locations and a nationwide delivery fleet, we help you bring facilities online, on time, and on budget. Yep, Graybar does that.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
2 weeks. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. President Trump predicts we will declare total victory over Iran over the next 2 weeks and says Iran is willing to give us everything in negotiations. That was during a tele-rally for Republicans in South Carolina last night. Then here talking to reporters after attending Game 3 of the NBA Finals in New York.
We have ongoing negotiations in Iran and with Iran, and that hasn't stopped. And we could have at least an idea by 1 or 2 days from now.
That tele-rally was for South Carolina Senate candidate Lindsey Graham and gubernatorial candidate Pamela Yvette, Graham the incumbent, of course. There are also primaries today in North Dakota, Nevada, and Maine. Fox's Alex Hogan on the Senate race there.
Democrats are hoping to flip Republican Susan Collins' seat. The campaign potential challenger of Democrat Graham Plattner has been plagued by a series of scandals and accusations. They include the candidate's Nazi-style chest tattoo, which is now covered, claims of messaging women outside his marriage, and allegations from several women who say that they had been involved with him, describing the relationship as toxic and volatile.
Claims that Plattner calls politically motivated. Back to the Iran conflict, 2 crew members are rescued after a U.S. Army helicopter crashed near the Strait of Hormuz.
The AH-64 Apache came down while conducting nighttime patrols near the coast of Oman. The crew members were rescued within around 2 hours after the crash in an effort led by U.S. Naval Forces Central Command and the 82nd Airborne Division. They're said to be in a stable condition. President Trump last night told reporters that the pilots were fine and that a report would be issued today.
That's Fox's Jonathan Savage. The House is set to vote today on $70 billion in funding for immigration and customs enforcement that was approved by the Senate last week. Speaker Mike Johnson will need near perfect attendance and Republican unity to get it done. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, saved time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Good morning, I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk. It is air you can wear as you're heading out the door this morning. Only about 78 degrees, but just so humid at 8:03. All right, here's what's making headlines across the St. Louis area on this Tuesday, June 9th. The Missouri Supreme Court has struck down an effort to change the ballot language regarding state income taxes. This comes after the Western District Court of Appeals ruled that the ballot language didn't clearly state what the amendment would do. Missourians will be voting on whether to eliminate state income taxes in August. A 6-7 event in Shrewsbury quickly got out of control and led to more than 300 teens fighting in a parking lot. Police say Sky Zone on Watson Road was hosting this 6-7 event Sunday afternoon. Investigators say the teens eventually ran into nearby stores, caused damage, and threatened the customers and employees, forcing some of those stores to close early. Police confiscated a butcher knife from a 12-year-old girl who says she took an Uber from Florissant to get into a fight after seeing it on social media. Several teens were taken into custody. St. Charles County is considering a short-term ban on new apartment buildings. The proposed 6-month ban would specifically apply to the unincorporated areas. The county council has only approved construction of one apartment complex in 20 years for unincorporated St. Charles County. Council is expected to vote on that moratorium later on this month. In sports, Cards on the road facing the Mets tonight, first pitch 6:10. And you may have seen the video now everyone's talking about. President Trump attended Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Spurs beat the Knicks 115-111. Knicks leading that series 2-1. And Game 4 of the Stanley Cup, that's tonight at 7. Golden Knights have a 2-1 lead in that series over the Hurricanes. Coming up on 8:05, 78 degrees. I'm Kim St. Ange for 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
Good morning to you. We are still looking pretty good on the roads, but we've got some issues, especially on the Illinois side, where we've got road work westbound 55-64 at 3rd Street, and it's causing delays. On the Missouri side, we're jammed on westbound 64, and this is approaching Hampton through 170. There's a report of an accident near there, and it's jamming up traffic in both directions. Now, northbound 270, it's mainly moderate volume. North of Gravois up through 64. Southbound 270 slowing at Olive, but it's just moderate volume. Southbound 61 is pretty slow, headed for 64 and 70 this morning. 70 looks pretty good out west into downtown. 64, some moderate volume here and there. And then east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. I'm Sue Thomas. This report brought to you by McKelvey Homes on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
McKelvey Homes is breaking ground on something new in O'Fallon, Strawberry Farms. When McKelvey builds something, they do it right. Visit McKelvey Homes to schedule a tour at Strawberry Farms in O'Fallon. Visit McKelveyHomes.com today and move up to McKelvey.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Looking for a mix of clouds and sunshine on this Tuesday with more in the way of sun for the afternoon, but still a chance for some spotty showers and thunder showers around. Nothing like yesterday. Very humid. 92, kind of hot too. Tonight, clear, warm, very humid. 76 for the overnight low. Wednesday, sunny, hot, and humid. Nothing more than a pop thunderstorm. Wednesday will be the hottest of the week. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Just before 8:07 here on this Tuesday morning, 78 degrees, sunny and humid. You can listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show anytime or from anywhere on our free Odyssey app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is brought to you by Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group, retirementkey.com.
This is the Marc Cox Morning Show.
All right, welcome back to the Marc Cox Morning Show. Don't you love that music? Little Sammy Hagar there. He's coming to town at the end of the week. I get to go see him. I'm so excited. Could be his final tour. Did you know that?
Why does it feel like he's in town all the time? Maybe you just
loves
talk
St.
about him all the
Louis.
time.
He loves St. Louis.
That's the thing. These artists say, "Oh, I love St. Louis. It's one of my favorite cities." I'm sure they say that in every city they go
really
to. Okay,
does.
maybe I forgot there is a connection to St. Louis.
Really
blah
does.
blah blah. But don't you think? But don't. Okay, but don't
It's
you
like
think
having
that
my
artists?
wife on the show with me. Can I just tell you that?
Don't you? You're stuck in this small studio with me for 4 hours every single morning. Don't you think, though, that, okay, Sammy Hagar aside, that musicians get up on stage and the vast majority of them try to say any tiny connection they have to the city, of course they're going to highlight that and make it seem like this is one of their favorite cities ever.
All they want. But the folks at KC made him famous back when he was a solo artist, which is why he's kicking off his tour in St. Louis. He's starting here.
You're right. It could be his last,
though. This is his hometown, and he's quoted as saying, now that he's 78 years old, he's not sure how much longer he can do this. So this could be his last tour. That's what I'm hanging my hat on.
I can't wait to hear you say that next year.
And I'll go again next year if he comes
you'll tell
back.
your wife that too as justification
Yes, I will.
for why
My friend,
you should buy tickets.
Friend Frank is coming to town, and I'm going to be there with him. It's going to be fantastic. Can't wait. We're glad you're with us this morning, though. That's Kim. I'm Mark. That's Ethan over there. Sue Thomas is back with your traffic. Happy to have her back as well. And we've still got plenty to get to, including our friend Ryan Wiggins. Do we know yet if Wiggins is going to be in studio or not? Have we heard from him?
Don't know yet. I should text him.
All right, Wiggy, text us. Let us know. He may be in here, but he'll be with us one way or the other. So stay tuned for that, for host of Wiggins America. We start out the show on a bit of a down note this morning because I learned late yesterday, and I shared this on the Facebook page, that the greater St. Louis community, the first responder community, lost a legend yesterday in Steve Hawley. Steve Hawley was the executive director of Guns and Hoses. He is single-handedly the reason why I got involved and why this radio station is the official radio station of Guns and Hoses, why we're so thrilled to carry that broadcast live every year and to go down and do what we can and get them on the air and help them raise money, which, of course, all goes to Backstoppers. Steve's kind of been the driving force behind that for years and years, sort of the creative mind overseeing it all. And if you've never been there, it's a tearjerker. It's a fantastic program. It's a fantastic show, and it raises a ton of money for our first responders. So Steve's health's been declining the last couple years, but somebody I know talked to him last week, and he told him that he was feeling better. And then we found out yesterday that he had passed away. So our condolences and our love to the Hawley family and his kids and his grandkids, and thank you, Steve, for all you did for first responders over the years. Want to get that out of the way, but did want to mention it because he's played a huge role in the St. Louis region in recent years. All right, we're going to get to our short list right now, if you don't mind, Ethan, please.
The Marc Cox Short List, presented by Rhino Shield.
My free political advice to Democrats is very simple. It's just nominate normal human beings. Don't run on men playing in women's sports. Don't run on letting illegal immigrants flood our country. And don't run on letting fraudsters in Minnesota take advantage of the American taxpayer. And you guys would do a lot better.
Yeah, J.D. Vance there yesterday on the Water Show saying, listen, I don't ask me, but if I was advising them, I'd say just dial it back a little bit on the crazy.
The membership of the organization is mostly white male, and I just don't feel comfortable being in an organization in which SIOs, which are like socialists in office, are meeting regularly with a population that is not representative of the entire district.
New York Democrat socialists are now unhappy that there are too many white men in their group. It's like a circular firing squad with the left these days.
Every year we seem like we go through something, be it, what's this? We had Zika, and we had West Nile, and we had Ebola, and we had COVID.
All I can say is whatever it is, we ain't ready for it. So we still have anti-vaxxers running around.
Yes.
Neil deGrasse Tyson worried about the next whatever COVID version is going to be flying through America. You know they'll come up with something just in time for the election, I'm afraid.
You're saying it's rigged like the president?
I'm not saying it's rigged. I'm saying it stinks to high heaven, and everybody knows that. I think California is playing around with us.
But what evidence is there to prove that this is rigged?
Look, I don't. Some of these efforts are so diabolical and so far upstream that it's impossible to prove. But I think everybody knows instinctively something is wrong here.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike Johnson, House Speaker. They're talking about the race in L.A., potentially the governor's race out there. They're still counting votes from the election. They're still receiving votes, apparently, from the election. What kind of a crazy system is that? I'll tell you what kind of crazy system it is. Whenever you're somebody like Mike Johnson and you have the intestinal fortitude to look into a camera and say it stinks to high heaven, and the reporters are going to say, well, prove it. If you think there's fraud, prove it. And I had to listen to somebody say yesterday, yeah, there's all these allegations of fraud, but it's very rare. It's very rare. To Mike Johnson's point, what's going on here is so calibrated, so intentional. It's not the kind of thing you're going to uncover with a simple audit. What you've done is created a system that provides the opportunity to stuff the ballot box with as many ballots for your candidate as you can gather. That's called ballot harvesting. It's clearly what's gone on here in L.A. and probably for the governor's race as well. It's legal in California to do that. Anybody who's registered, you have to understand this. Imagine this. Every single voter who's registered gets a ballot in the mail. How many people throw them in the garbage? There could be people walking down the street pulling these things out of the garbage, voting for you. I'd love to know how many duplicate votes they are. To begin with, of course, you won't know that because California won't let the federal government look at its voter rolls. We don't know is the point. Here's what we do know. It's simple math. Talk to a statistician about it if you don't believe me. There's no way that this third place lady, Rahman or whatever her name is, the socialist, was only polling at 21% of the vote. Bass was at 34%, and the other guy was at what?
Spencer Pratt?
Pratt was at 32 or something like that. And then as soon as Election Day was over, all of the votes that came in after that were 40% for the Rahman lady. She was even beating Karen Bass, the incumbent, after Election Day. How did that? I'll tell you exactly how that happened. Her crazed supporters went out and harvested a bunch of votes, filled them out, these ballots, shoved them in boxes, knowing they'd all come in after the fact, and they voted at a much higher rate than the actual voters did who voted leading up to Election Day. There's fraud afoot out there, and nobody seems to care.
The fact that so many tens of thousands of them, or thousands, I should say, came in for Rahman, that is so incredibly sketchy. And yeah, the Democrats are completely fine with it because it was rigged.
It's absolutely.
It's infuriating.
Call it what you want, rigging or whatever. It's legal. It's legal rigging. They're allowed to harvest ballots in California. It's disturbing. And hopefully we're going to get a Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's going to rule on this on Thursday, I'll bet, because it's got to be one of their last big decision drops on Thursday. That's one of the issues. Can you count ballots that come in after Election Day? Now, that won't stop them from stuffing the ballot box in California. They're just going to have an earlier deadline. Instead of waiting till Election Day to shove the ballots in the box, they'll have to do it a week early. They'll still be able to ballot harvest, but you won't have elections that keep going for weeks because you should have the ballots in by Election Day.
And Sonny Hostin was like, it's more legitimate if you're taking this long because they're really making sure that they're dotting their I's and crossing their T's. And then there was someone who made a point saying that just a handful of years ago, this was not the case. It didn't take California this long to count the ballots. It would be like any other state that would take a day or two, maybe 3 max, to count all these ballots.
Yeah, you would think, but unfortunately, that's not what they do in California, where they've effectively legalized fraud. It looks to me like. Yeah. All right. We're going to get to a quick break. We got Ryan Wiggins coming up. We'll be back in just a minute.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
We've got road work causing delays on westbound 270, headed for Route 3 this morning, so just be aware. Now, southbound 61 out west is slowing as you head for 64, and that does have a little moderate volume just at Wing Haven, headed for K. Not much. Most of the volume there is east of Lindbergh through Big Bend, and westbound is still slowing near Hampton out through McCausland due to an earlier accident. Northbound 270, it's mainly moderate volume now in pockets. It's a little slow at 21, but most of it is 44 up through Ladue Road. And on the Illinois side, we've got road work westbound 5564 at 3rd Street, and that is causing delays behind it. Yeah, other than that, we're okay. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Don't even think of trying to sell your St. Louis area home without calling my friend Gloria first. I get it. Everybody seems to know a real estate agent. There's lots of them out there right now. But you need somebody who understands the market. And more than that, more than just relying on maybe your friendship with somebody, you need somebody that's going to give you some guarantees. I don't know very many people that are doing it, if any. That's why I want you to call Gloria and have the conversation with her first. 314-325-6888. The most important thing about selling your house is that you get the most money possible, right? And that you get it sold so you can take the money and use it to buy the next house. That's what Gloria does for you. She gives you a guarantee that if she can't sell your house, she'll buy it. She's not looking to buy it. She's confident she can sell it. She'll also guarantee that she'll sell your house for 100% of market value or pay you the difference. Ask her about these plans. They're in place. They'll be in writing for you. All you have to do is call and take the first step. 314-325-6888. Get a hold of her at Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. She's online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Please be advised. You may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone. Because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at Viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
The time now is 8:20, and this time check is brought to you by Paramount Men's Medical Center. We got some special guests coming in at 8:47. Stick around, find out who it is.
Marc Cox is St. Louis conservative.
Wait for it. This segment brought to you by HelloFresh, Kim.
Oh,
just so you know. Sorry, couldn't help myself there. Had to play a little Van Halen since we talked about that earlier.
Man, that story
their new
with
discount
HelloFresh is the fact that it's bottoms up is the code.
I'm sorry if you missed that earlier,
It is pretty
but
hilarious.
it was pretty hilarious. So the company HelloFresh, which sends you pre-prepared meals, is apparently trying to appeal to the Pride crowd, and they're offering that discount code right now if you're wanting certain items that you're ordering from them.
It's what they posted.
I know.
They got it. You want me to read it?
I don't know if we should.
You want to read it again?
I don't know if we should read it again or not.
I think we should.
They just saying if you're getting ready to go to the parade, then you're wanting to order their food, then they're ready for you. And they'll even give you a discount. So here's the other thing. Off the subject of HelloFresh for a minute, my friend Jim just texted me and said he was eating breakfast and now can't finish his breakfast. Sorry about that.
It's because of the post. It's just gross.
I know. It's gross. It is gross. Here's what they're doing in Canada. Did you hear this? There is a new bill in Canada. This is from the Gateway Pundit, posted this yesterday. There's a new bill in Canada to restrict so-called hate speech. Remember, they don't have a Second Amendment. They don't have a First Amendment, I should say. I don't have a Second Amendment. They don't have a First Amendment in Canada. So they have a bill to restrict hate speech, Kim, that would remove protections for the Bible. So in other words, if you went on your social media website or you carried a placard quoting Leviticus or any other scripture condemning LGBTQ XYZ LMNOP behavior, or possibly even claiming there are only two genders in Canada, it could be considered hate speech.
It specifically says the part about the Bible?
A jailable offense, yes.
Wow.
Since the existence of only two genders and the fact that a baby is a living, breathing human life inside its mother's womb are scientific fact, certainly ostensibly citing scientific textbooks could also be jailable if those facts hurt someone's feelings.
So
that's what the law comes down to in Canada.
Aren't they already doing that in parts of Europe?
Yep.
People have been jailed for posting things on social media that are deemed hate speech.
Over the past decade, the UK and Canada, previously two of the freest countries on earth, have been arresting people. And it's disgusting.
By the way, did you see the former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is now officially out in public with his girlfriend, Katy Perry? You knew they were dating, right?
I did not.
Really? It's weird. Grabbing
you mean
her
Fidel Castro's illegitimate son?
Like grabbing her butt at this award. I don't know if it was the Tony Awards.
Oh, my goodness.
Very weird. Yeah. So he's spending probably a lot of time here in the United States.
Well, anyway, that's what's going on. Just be careful up there in Canada. You go up there posting something you shouldn't, you could get in trouble.
Is that your little way of
guess
your accent?
So. Sorry.
Posting something you shouldn't,
posting something in Canada, just got to be careful. Because they're going to crack down on that stuff. Hey, are they? So tell me, did they do a Pride Night recently for the Cardinals? Didn't they do something?
Oh, I saw it advertised on a billboard.
They were doing that?
I can't remember what night it was. Was it the 6th?
The Texas
June 6th?
Rangers or somebody who's refused to do that?
The Rangers.
The Texas, the LA Dodgers gave their players hats that. In the L and the A on the front of the hat was a rainbow. They had a rainbow.
That's the Cardinals
running
hat
through
too. They were selling.
The Cardinals had that same hat.
Basically, yeah.
Well, a couple of the players refused to wear it, and they were ostracized for it. One of them was Blake Trinan is his name. He's a pitcher. He came out and won a game for them the other night over the Washington Nationals, but he refused to wear the hat because of his religious beliefs. And the people in L.A. are hating on him for that. How dare you do that? He's been an outspoken Christian. When the Dodgers decided to re-invite and honor the anti-Christian drag nun group, the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, he made his stance clear. Trinan said he was disappointed to see that they were being honored as heroes of Dodger Stadium. Many of their performances are blasphemous, and their work only displays hate and mockery of Catholics and the Christian faith.
I'm so sick of the players who were shamed for not taking part in this. Why is it? It seems like it's become pretty much mandatory, or that's the expectation.
Well, apparently it's not mandatory.
Well, it's not, but then you're shamed if you don't do it.
Right. Now, Trinan honored Charlie Kirk last year. He wrote Charlie Kirk's name on the side of his hat, which also angered a bunch of the same assorted nuts.
And I've seen people.
Were mad about
seen people. The players wear it, and then they write scripture.
Yes.
To the side of it.
One did that yesterday, apparently.
The St. Louis Cardinals website says it has a picture of the Pride hat, with the Cardinals logo, and then it's all the rainbow colors, and it says "Love is Love." Kick off Pride Month at the 9th Annual Pride Night at Busch Stadium. So it happened this past Friday. Join the LGBTQIA+ community as the Cardinals take on the Cincinnati Reds. So if you got some theme ticket, you were able to receive a free Pride hat.
Yeah.
And they had some Pride party or whatever after the fact.
They got
punch
blasted for it on social media. Walter O'Malley and Vin Scully are turning over in their graves. Somebody said about the Dodgers, this has no place in baseball to show any preference for who you're having sex with. It's weird and creepy. It would be like wearing jerseys that said hetero Dodgers on it.
But why do people start with the way
that.
who they're sexually attracted to? It's like that becomes the biggest part of someone's identity. Hi, I'm Kim. And it'd be like me saying, hi, I'm Kim and I'm straight. No one would say that. I'm a straight woman. Hi, Mark. I'm a straight woman. My name is Kim.
Yeah.
People just go, hi, I'm gay. Hi, I'm trans. Hi, I'm this. Hi, I'm that. No, you're a person made in God's image, I would argue. But why are we leading with sexuality identification?
We could get arrested in Canada for saying that. Just think about that. It's kind of where it's going. All right, coming up, we'll get to our friend Ryan Wiggins. He is going to join us in studio in just a minute. Stay tuned.
According to MasterCard, nearly half of small businesses have been a victim of a cyber attack. As cybercrime escalates, ThrottleNet is calling on businesses to strengthen their security posture by taking a free online IT security audit right from your desk. This 3-minute online assessment provides an immediate score to see security gaps and vulnerabilities in your network. For 26 years, ThrottleNet has supported your business IT everything right here in St. Louis. In fact, no client of ThrottleNet has ever paid a ransom. So visit throttlenet.com/971 to take the free assessment today.
Cancer can feel like something we can't do anything about, but you can. There are screening tests that can catch cancer early when it may be easier to treat. Begin cervical screening at age 25. At 45, start colorectal and breast screening. At 50, discuss lung screening with a doctor. Find resources for free and low-cost screening at cancer.org/getscreened. This is a public service message from the American Cancer Society.
Hey, Golden Oak Lending can help you out when it comes to refinancing or getting that next mortgage. If you are in the process of trying to buy a home right now, you're looking at mortgage rates. They have got a 15-year fixed mortgage of 4.5%. Call them up, ask them about it. They're going to give you all the details, tell you whether you qualify. They're going to tell you if they can help you or tell you if they can't. But if you're refinancing, think about that. Maybe you're hanging on to what you think is a low interest rate, but you're paying 30% on a $20,000 credit card balance. Don't do that. Get the equity out, pay that off, and refinance at the low rate of 4.5%. That's a 5.442 APR, 15-year FHA fixed loan with 20% equity and qualified credit. Of course, additional terms do apply. But reach out today, 314-567-GOLD. Tell them Marc Cox told you to call. That's 314-567-GOLD. Online at goldenoaklending.com. NMLS number 114937.
I'm Nicole Murray with Your Money Now. Oil prices have dropped by at least 1.5% as President Trump works to convince the market that a deal with Tehran was days away, despite the barrage of strikes between Israel and Iran this week. West Texas Intermediate at roughly $89 per barrel, Brent at nearly $93. AI firm Perplexity said it is planning to go public in 2028, regardless of how the market receives the listings of Anthropic and OpenAI. OpenAI confidentially filed for a U.S. IPO earlier yesterday, following Anthropic's filing last week. Elon Musk's SpaceX is also preparing to go public on Friday. Stellantis said it is recalling more than 1.3 million Jeep SUVs and trucks worldwide over fire concerns and urged owners to park away from structures or other vehicles until a fix is completed. The recall covers 2021 to 2025 model year Jeep Wrangler and Jeep Gladiator trucks over an electrical connection issue. Futures are higher this morning as chip stocks rebound. That's Your Money Now.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You sort through tons of resumes and you get too many so-so applicants. You're just waiting for someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now, there's a place where you can meet them fast. ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. Build your team. Build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads right now, if you are on northbound 55 or will be, it's in pretty good shape. We do have multiple construction zones, but just a little bit of moderate volume through there. And moderate volume is what we have on northbound 270. A little bit at 21 and then Big Bend up through Ladue Road. Eastbound 70, a little slow at Highway A before opening up this morning. 64 has some volume, especially between Winghaven and a point east of there and then east of Lindbergh through Big Bend. We've got on the Illinois side some heavy traffic. It's road work with lane closures westbound 55-64 at 3rd Street, and that has caused some delays. This report is brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. For over 25 years, they have been St. Louis's trusted choice for transforming homes inside and out. They do everything from siding to kitchens and deliver quality craftsmanship backed by lifetime warranties. Visit lakesiderd.com to start your dream project today. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Let's talk about protecting your home for just a minute. And when I talk about that, I'm talking about Rhino Shield. You can get your free evaluation anytime by reaching out to my friend Darren. He's happy to come over and take a look for you. Listen, anything you can put regular paint on, you can put Rhino Shield on, except it is Missouri's premier coating. That's what you need to understand. Missouri and Illinois, for that matter. Listen. You get a 25-year guarantee. If you are a contractor yourself, look at all the benefits of that. Think of what you're promising your customer. You call my friend Darren. Let him come out and show you. Maybe show you a picture of my old house. I don't know. I know that when I got it put on 17 and a half years ago, it was one of the best decisions I made. It saves you on utility costs. It is beautifully durable. Any color choice you can think of. And here's the great thing about it is it stays that color. It doesn't fade in the sun because it rejects 90% of the sun's rays. And, of course, it's 100% waterproof. Cedar, brick, stucco, hardy plank, aluminum metal, it goes on anything. It coats it. It's 10 times thicker than regular paint, and that's why it is so durable. Call Darren today, 877-25-RHINO, or online at 877-25rhino.com.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
With summer here and the kids home full time, your garage door will see a lot more use. Do it a favor with annual maintenance from Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The 26-point tune-up is one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Get them all done. Trusted in St. Louis for 100 years. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Since 1926, they're never going to steer you wrong. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
From the gateway to the airwaves, 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Worst person to ask how the Democrats can win votes, Jesse. But look, my free political advice to Democrats is very simple. It's just nominate normal human beings. Don't run on men playing in women's sports. Don't run on letting illegal immigrants flood our country. And don't run on letting fraudsters in Minnesota take advantage of the American taxpayer. And you guys would do a lot better. I don't know why Democrats can't just find normal, well-adjusted candidates, whether men or women. I think they would do a lot better. But I'm not complaining, Jesse, because I do think it puts our party, my party, in a much better position to perform in the midterms. As you know, Jesse, midterms are always very tough for the party in power. If you go back historically, even when the country's been doing very well, midterms are pretty bad for the country, or for the party that's in power. But I think we have a great chance. Number one, because the president has delivered on so many of his core campaign promises.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! All right, great to get Ryan Wiggins back here in studio. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. How are you guys?
I'm doing fine, thank
Listening
you.
to you guys this morning and listening to some fun stories about HelloFresh.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
Did you make sure you got a subscription? You're inspired.
Oh, I love getting food delivered to me in the mail. So yes.
Well, you have to actually make it. They just do the
I
thing
know.
where you just have it measured out for you, and they're in individual bags.
Oh,
we
You
have
still
done
have to
it.
put it together.
We have done it, just
Yeah.
like everybody else has probably done the free trial.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you go, oh, okay, that's cool, and then you just forget.
But I don't want to pay the money
Yeah,
for this, so
right.
no.
Well, you can get a discount right now.
Bottoms up is your code. Happy Pride Month.
I put that
I'm
in
just
as my
saying.
code for everything.
Yeah, there you go.
It's your password for your bank. And
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Nothing new here.
Yeah, so J.D. Vance there. Let's move on to what J.D. Vance was talking about.
J.D. Vance gave a very good analysis there. That was a very good clip because we are talking about, well, he was talking about 2026, really at the end of that. But he says a few things in there that I think are good points. And before we move on to them, you and I have talked many times, both on air and off air, about the direction that politics in general are going with not just the gerrymandering wars, which will affect this midterms, but beyond that, but also the movement of population that's all in favor of Republicans to red states from blue states. We got the birthright citizenship thing maybe coming up this week. We'll see what the Supreme Court says. I'm not super optimistic about that, but all signs point to the direction of Republicans really having a foothold on things from 2030 on.
Boy, I hope you're right.
But 2026 and 2028, we don't really know, especially with that is a big presidential election in 2028, because that will determine how they do the census in 2030, because they gypped Republicans out of several House seats and electoral seats in 2020 because you could say they deliberately counted it wrong, basically. And we know that now. That's not even conjecture. That's very well-known fact. So you really have to have a Republican in charge in 2028 to make sure that even doesn't happen again. But I have good news for you.
Okay. We need some good news.
I like looking at polling.
Okay.
No.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
that is shocking.
Annie told me.
I know. I like looking at polling. And here are the leading candidates. See if you recognize any of these names. For
Okay.
Democrats in 2028. Number one, leading the pack, Kamala Harris. And this is this isn't one particular poll. This is an average of all polls for Democrats for 2028. Kamala Harris
is still in first place.
Still in first place. Yeah.
What's her percentage, if I can ask?
27%.
Is it just name recognition, you think? Because what other
Probably.
qualifications does she have? We've heard her answer to some of these questions
Border
about
czar.
her policy stance, and she's like, she doesn't have an answer.
She was the border czar.
Oh, I forgot. She did a really good job at that, so you're
Well,
right.
I've not been to the border.
I think
still.
she didn't get enough of a chance to run for president, and she should do it again.
Yeah, that's a good
But
one. Yeah.
that's actually what J.D. Vance was just saying. Like,
yeah,
it's
please,
good for
we'd
us.
love for her to
Go
run.
ahead.
Yeah.
Number two, Gavin Newsom. Now, I would say maybe I don't think Kamala Harris has a shot. Gavin Newsom maybe has a shot, but it's low because he is so easily beat on facts.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he's run California.
Oh, yeah, run it to the ground.
It's such a mess that's just built into his campaign. Number three, now you're getting down into the teens, because Newsom's at 17, I guess technically.
Josh
teen.
Shapiro.
We're not even there. No. You still got candidates ahead of him. Pete Buttigieg.
Mark's favorite.
Is third.
Pete Buttigieg. Now he can deliver a debate. He could speak, but his qualifications are terrible, and the way he even ran the freaking Department of Transportation was terrible. and all the other social issues built in with him that people, would shy away from him. I just don't see him being a viable candidate either. And then the last one.
He does have a beard now.
Does he? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I might vote for him then. I didn't know that.
I might change my mind,
it might
too.
change my
Among
mind.
Democrats, that could make a difference.
Yeah, they want manly guys like Tim Walz.
And Walt Tallarico, yeah.
The last one who even polls above 10% at all, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh, gosh.
Now, those are your leading candidates.
VP. She's going to be somebody's vice presidential candidate in hopes of getting the
far
20, 30-year-old left-wing freaks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know you did not mention Josh Shapiro because he didn't even hit that 10% threshold, but I would love to see Josh Shapiro debate Kamala Harris because it would give us a lot more insight into what happened on why she did not pick him as her running mate. I guarantee you it would come out like, okay, Kamala Harris, you didn't pick me because you were worried that I'm Jewish and that would not go well with your, I don't you think that would reveal a lot of stuff?
Well, if he's willing to do it, he would have to. He'd have to be willing to
bring her down.
Not just pull back on his punches and go for it.
Oh, yeah.
But he'll need to. That's the thing. I look back at the polling here. He's at 6.3%.
Well, we don't even know if he would be running.
We
right?
don't know
Yeah.
if he's running.
Yeah.
Mark Kelly's right there too at 6.5. I think those two guys, they at least position themselves as more moderate candidates. The rest of these people are so far out there, and they're fairly well known to be out there that I just can't see any of them having a legitimate shot in 28.
Well, they just don't have that big. I mean, other than Kamala, who's been a failed candidate already, I don't see somebody on the horizon who's going to be an Obama type character. I know Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, is going to run, right?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Cory Booker's probably going to run. They both kind of imagine themselves in their brains as being the next Barack Obama. But when you listen to them speak, you don't get that vibe at all.
Well, I don't know much about Wes Moore. I know Cory Booker. When I hear him speak, I'm like, this guy doesn't have a future here. And Hakeem Jeffries, they have these positions that they should be leading the Democrat charge, and they're just bad at it. Like Kamala.
So Wes Moore said he's not running.
Oh, he did say he's not going to run
because remember the bridge that collapsed, and he made some comment that he was going to be governor when that bridge was reopened. I guess in however many years. So he claims he's not running. He says he doesn't have an interest in that. Of course, Gretchen Whitmer came out and said she's not running, even though no one was really speculating her. I don't think AOC is running this time. I think she'll run in 4 years, but I don't know why, but I don't think she's going to try to go for it in 2028.
I hope she does. I hope all these people do, and I hope Kamala Harris gets the nomination.
I hope that she's asked about foreign policy.
Bernie Sanders joked last night that what we really need in this next race is more 80-year-old candidates.
So, did he really?
He did say it. So I don't know if he's joking or if he means that he might run for president again.
Well, it's familiar names. What he's teasing is that you're going to see another run because, hey, he's still got 4 more years of eligibility for Joe Biden.
Ooh.
Yeah, Joe Biden's going to come back. That's my prediction here on the Marc Cox Morning Show.
Really?
No.
He might. I mean, he wandered into one of Jill's news conferences the other day
and asked a really weird question.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? Who's your favorite person in the world?
Who do you love the most, or something like that?
Yeah.
And she said Whoopi. Like, I'm
What?
sure that's probably true.
Did he? Like,
she was on stage with Whoopi Goldberg when that happened.
Was someone supposed to be watching him, and they're like, "He got away!"
Hey,
they turned around to get
we
a
got a
glass of
runner.
water, and Biden's just on his way onto the
Yeah,
stage.
I know it's June, but here comes the Easter Bunny. Corralling Joe Biden.
Joe's over there sniffing the Easter Bunny's ear.
Oh, gosh.
Yep.
Your suit smells weird.
Oh, boy. All right, Ryan. Thank you, my friend.
All right.
Good to have you back. Host of Wiggins America. We appreciate that. Still 6 to 7 a.m. Is
Still
this when
6
we're
to
airing?
7 a.m. on Saturday mornings, 6 to 7 p.m. on Sundays.
Perfect. All right. Ryan Wiggins. We'll be back in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Traffic from the 97.1 FM Talk Traffic Center.
On the roads this morning, it hasn't been too bad, but if you are an Illinois driver, it's not going to be a lot of fun on westbound 5570. They've got road work through June 20th, westbound 5564 at 3rd Street, and it's just caused delays back past 70 and on 64. We've got eastbound 70 in great shape out west into downtown. 61 a little slow ramping on to eastbound 70. 64 is jammed. It's Winghaven to a point just east of there. And then some slow pockets from Lindbergh through Big Bend. Westbound slows at the inner belt. Northbound 270, moderate volume Big Bend up through Ladue Road. And then it's better. And 55 is in good shape. I'm Sue Thomas with traffic on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
We tend to have the rose-colored glasses on when we go buy our home. We see all the things we like and the potential, and then you move in and you live there for a couple of years and you realize this just doesn't have the space I need, or I don't like the way that this is set up. And when you realize that, when you get to that point, because unfortunately you probably will, what you need to do is go to lakesiderd.com. Lakesiderd.com is the website for Lakeside Renovation and Design, and they know all those stress points that can be in your home and cause issues, and they're going to take care of that problem, whatever that might be. Whether it be, a cramped kitchen, there's a poor layout, or, you don't have the amount of storage that you need. They can take care of all of that. Their team of in-house designers is trained to come up with great ideas that you may never be able to come up with on your own and help you with that. The whole team over there at Lakeside Renovation and Design, by the way, is in-house. They're not outsourcing to third parties like really the vast majority of these companies are. But what they can also do is transform any space into your dream space. So bathrooms are the trend now, is to become more spa-like. So imagine having heated floors, or the beautiful freestanding tubs, or a steam shower. Again, whatever you're dreaming up at your home, whether it's inside or outside, Lakeside Renovation and Design can help you take care of that and make your dream a reality. Plus, they're going to back up their work with a lifetime workmanship warranty. This is a company, you look them up, you're going to see hundreds of 5-star reviews, and A+ rating from the BBB. Plus, I just really appreciate the fact that it is a genuinely great family behind this veteran-founded, family-owned company. Again, it's Lakeside Renovation and Design. The website to go to is lakesiderd.com.
Hey, St. Louis, this is Brian Kilmeade. I always have a great time when I visit you guys, and I'm coming back this November. So join me, Brian Kilmeade, by getting tickets for the show at The Factory at 971talk.com/events.
Today, the Cards, the Mets.
Siteman Cancer Center game time 6:10. Play ball. Siteman Cancer Center, national leader in cancer.
The home of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel, and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Zero Res wants to help you clean your home. Big summer savings right now. 3 rooms clean starting at $129. Plus, take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and ask for the 97.1 special.
Termites cause $5 billion in damage to homes and businesses in the U.S. every year. Call Point Pest Control now at 636-798-0023 and reclaim your space from unwanted pests. That's 636-798-0023. PointPestControl.com.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it. With a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
The Marc Cox Morning Show is St. Louis conservative.
All right, welcome back. If you're on social media, we appreciate that. Just always remember you can watch us on the Window World webcam, simply the best for less. And if you're watching right now, YouTube, X, Facebook, however you got here, you see we have a couple guests in the studio. Bob and Tammy Kershaw joining us from the Retirement Advisory Group. How you guys doing?
Doing good, Mark.
Good. How are you?
Doing fine. I love when we're getting together again on the 16th, by the way. but we're always sharing stories about our grandkids.
We do.
We do. And you guys have a great trip. You're going to Disney coming up?
Yes.
In October?
In October, we're taking her to see that excitement on her face.
That's
We're
magical,
excited.
isn't it? It's going to be more for Grandma and Grandpa, right?
I think so.
It's definitely for us.
How old is she?
Because she's 2.
She's
Okay,
just turned
yeah.
2.
But still, the light in her eyes as she's seeing everything.
I think it's more
yeah.
of a trip for us than her, but we're gonna do one park.
Oh, nice.
We're not gonna do them all.
You're going to do the princess breakfast? You got to book
Yes,
that. You
yes.
got that's just the best thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
And
such a girl dad.
I'm just telling you. That was the best. For when I remember taking my one that just graduated from high school to that a couple years ago. So it's been a while. It's been a minute.
Bring it back
So yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So you guys we're getting together again on the 16th out at the DoubleTree.
We are.
Had a great event the last time. And I mean, how fitting. I mean, I'm looking the other day at these 401k numbers, they're going through the roof. But you always know if you live through 2007, that doesn't last forever. What happens if you're retired and it drops?
What goes up must come down.
Yeah, it's true. And you guys got plenty of strategies for them, right?
unfortunately.
If you retire and it drops, that could change things, right?
yeah.
You could not be able to retire. You might have to go back to work.
Oh,
That's what we try to help prevent. We try to give you strategies, teach you strategies to where when you do retire, you can protect your all your money, all your principal, and still get some gains from it, right? But you still protect everything so you don't lose it. So you can stay retired.
Yeah.
That's why one of our big things that we always love to do at these is we educate on how to link to the market. So we talk a lot about that because that's safety. And it's safety and it's income. And then we talk a lot about how we put together that free, personalized, structured income plan that most people near retirement or already retired, they've never had one of those.
Yeah.
So that's
and
important.
that's crucial.
I think that can be intimidating for a lot of people where they don't even know where to start, so they just don't want to deal with
That's
any
exactly
of it. You know?
it. Yeah. So we make that process very simple, laid back, just kind of put that plan into place just so when that day comes, you're not wondering, okay, how's this going to work? How much am I going to have? How long is it going to last me? Those are the questions we're going to answer.
Yeah.
Am I going to run out of money?
Yeah.
That's what everybody wants to
Number
know.
one
That's the
question,
scary
yeah.
part.
You want to take your kids to Disney, you can't run out of money.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
That's for sure.
We'll
the
help
number?
you not run out of money.
Yeah, thank you. Is that the number one question that people have when
It
they come
is.
into your office?
It is. Will
Like
I have enough money in retirement? Will it last me? Because everybody's living longer now, too.
Yeah.
Right? So you might spend 20, 30 years in retirement. So they want to make sure that they do have enough to last them and not have to go back
Well,
to work.
you guys have been at this for a while now. What would you say the percentage of people are now compared to, say, 10, 15 years ago who actually have a pension to depend on?
Ooh.
It's dropped off, hasn't it? Wouldn't you say?
Way low. You rarely see pensions now.
Yeah.
Everybody has their
Few
401ks
union,
or 403(b)s, but yeah, pensions are very rare these days.
So which is why it's important to have structured income, so you know at the first of the month that you've got a check coming in.
Absolutely, because we all know that Social Security alone is not enough to retire off of. It's just way
You need
way
something
too
to help
hard.
supplement that
Yeah,
Social Security.
it is not going to cut it. Well, all you got to do is reach out to retirementkey.com. This is a free event. We love going to this. I'll be there. Annie will be there. Mark Reardon will be there. And, of course, we'd love to have you there as well. Just give them a head count so you have enough cookies and soda for everybody.
Absolutely.
Delicious cookies, by the
We
way.
got some snacks and coffee.
Just a little something to hold them over.
Absolutely. So it's going to be at the DoubleTree Hotel out in Chesterfield, just right there off Chesterfield Parkway. It's easy to get to on the 16th of June at 6:30. We get there about 6 o'clock and kind of mingle, and then Bob and Tammy will take about 45 minutes of your time, and it's easy, low-pressure environment where you just answer questions. It's awesome.
Exactly.
Thank you,
We hope
guys.
you see you there.
Thank you.
I'll be there.
I know you'll be there.
I'll be there Tuesday the 16th. Hope to see a lot of other folks. That's going to do it for us. We got to get out of the way. Brian Kilmeade coming in here at the top of the hour. We'll all see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Have a great Tuesday.